got the advantage, but unironically, the average ducks to the inside. What a move! But Koenigsegg accelerating back on the outside. And there goes Salty Bonkos to the inside. Bashing door panels, sparks flying, smoke spraying. The Butler is going to go wide. Salty Bonkos on the inside. They're a little bit off the pace, but now accelerating all 500 horsepower. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Virtual Auto Sports here live on Twitch TV with week number 3 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. And after our first race here this evening, we will be over the halfway mark. We will be heading toward the back half, or actually into the back half, and toward the finale in week number 5, starting with our second race here this evening. I'm Dustin Moore on the mic, as is always the case here on Virtual Auto Sports, and there's a look at the tally right now as it stands coming out of week number 2. Now, mind you, because there have only been 2 weeks of racing, and because that drop week rule is in effect for the week in which you score the fewest amount of points, that does take is taken into consideration with the leaderboard right now as you see it in front of you. That's the reason why AMS Udakan has 100 points as opposed to 197 points coming out of week number 2. I say 197 because Udakan fell one race short of coming away with a clean sweep there in week number 2, and would be 4 races won in a row had it not been for the victory there by Craytrim out at Maple Valley in race number 3, our first race of last Tuesday. And as a result, AMS Udakan and Craytrim both ended up with 97 points in week number 2. Hence the reason Craytrim is up to 97. And AMS Udakan hasn't moved at all off of the 100 points that he scored there in week number 1. Carryout says that Udakan is cheating. We know. We're just we're letting the investigation play out. And as we have more evidence of his cheating, then we'll bring a case forward. No, I'm obviously kidding. AMS Udakan is a one heck of a competitor. And to find him at the top of the leaderboard, for a lot of folks, that would be no surprise. It's not a shock to a lot of people. But that does not mean that he is a shoo-in for the championship, because with week number 2, he only netted 97 points. If something goes awry between here in week 3 all the way to our finale in week number 4, then maybe week 2 isn't his drop week. And maybe that does have to factor in. Granted, getting 97 points in week 2, if that ends up not being your drop week, then that's pretty dang good. There's a lot of things still to play out for us to see here in season 34 before we could say with any sort of certainty who is going to win the championship. And with the championship, you win the bragging rights, but then you also get to pick the vehicle for season number 35. A few little housekeeping things. First and foremost, I've noticed a little bit of a degradation in the video quality over the last couple of streams, and so tonight I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. You guys might have noticed I had a little bit of a test stream a few nights ago, and some of you tuned in for that, oddly enough. We're gonna try something a little bit different here today. You guys let me know. The way that I can ensure you all have the best viewing experience possible is if you tell me what that viewing experience is like. If I have to go back after the fact and watch it, well, then I may not catch it, and then I may not know that something is wrong. And as a result, we may be dealing with the same garbage video that you may have seen the previous stream and the stream before that. So let me know if there's any sort of anomaly with the broadcast here today, and I'll look into it. Otherwise, we're trying something a little bit different. Hopefully the quality comes through better than it has. I don't know if it's my PC that now, after almost 3 years of age, is starting to feel the pressure and needs a little help, or whatever the case. I don't know if my ISP is being garbage on me right now. So we'll see. A little bit of troubleshooting. That's the least I can do. Sober David is continuing the gift sub that they got from Genzenator. So Sober David, he says, thanks, Genzenator, for the gift sub. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue that. Thank you so much. Carry Out now going to gift a subscription to Nightbot. That's weird. Carry Out giving a subscription to Nightbot. And then also throwing one to Slow Motion Fire. There you go. And so now Carry Out moves up to a total of 15 gifted subs here on the broadcast, cementing his position in second overall in terms of gifted subs. Thank you so much, Carry Out, for all your support. And to those of you who receive those gift subs, your consideration about whether or not you continue that is always appreciated, as we see with Sober David, who is continuing off of the one that he got from Genzenator. So that's really cool. Really, really cool stuff. I just realized at this very moment that I am not yet in the lobby for tonight's event, so let me go ahead and do that. And while I'm doing that, you all take a look here at the schedule. Yes, we've got Spa on tap for tonight. And you all know, or likely know, that oh gosh, how do I do this? It's the new Xbox app. I think I got it figured out. I think I'm okay. As you all know, the Spa track only has one layout, at least in Forza Motorsport 7. There is no alternative layout, and as such, we're going to be doing 10 laps around that big old track with some precipitation. So as if it weren't a tricky enough track, whoever selected it then also said, let's make it rain. And this coming off of a rain race out at Brands Hatch, the Grand Prix track, a week ago today. So this will be it, actually, though. After they do 10 laps in the rain here at Spa, then the rain is done for the season. No more rain, no more nighttime races. That was completed after the very first race of the season out at Daytona under the lights. But yeah, as you can see there, we've got Spa and Sonoma here today, and then Watkins Glen and Homestead. So staying in the States there for week number 4, and then heading over to Germany for the Hockenheim Ring 60-lap finale out there. It's always a fun showing. The finale is, even if the championship is already in the bag, then it still makes for an interesting race night, because now everybody knows, okay, no matter what you do, you can't ruin the chances for somebody to become the champion, and therefore they go super all out. Certainly, if the championship is still up for grabs, they're pushing the pedal to the metal there as well. But you're having to be a little bit more aware of, like, okay, let me not ruin this race for anybody. I want to race clean. So it's always kind of an interesting dynamic as we head toward week number 5. But we still got week 3, week 4. Not get too far ahead of myself here. Sober David with the fail. I'm guessing that's because of the gifted sub to... Oh, wait, no. Carry Out gave it to Nightbot. I don't know. Carry Out might have done that on purpose. Maybe Nightbot deserves a little love from time to time. What do you think, Nightbot? Are you good with that? No, Nightbot just says the same old thing every single time. Because I forgot to get in the lobby. Yeah. Well, fortunately, it happens pretty quickly. What I have to remind myself is that there's the new Xbox app for those of us who are on PC. They released a new Xbox app this past weekend. Actually, I think it was like Sunday night. And with that, have to get familiarized, with how to get back in the lobbies, because during 3050, when we were trying to invite somebody in, the option wasn't like immediate on the menu. And then after a little bit, it kicked in. So it's one of those things where I'm learning like the nuance of the new application. Currently, there are 20 drivers in the lobby for tonight's race. Before I get before we head into qualifying, let me also throw out there that we've got a lot to chat about here this evening. Not only do we have the Forza Spec Racing Series happening here right before our very eyes tonight, Tuesday, June 9th, but we've got a lot that's coming up here on the Virtual Autosport broadcast. And no, we're not adding additional days of streaming, but we have those high-profile events, those events that like really tip the scales here on the channel as far as viewership, the ones that really get people interested and eager to watch, which is great because we are heading toward that June 28th deadline for your channel points to redeem 1,000 of them. But we've got our Forza Friday Night Fights announcement. We've got it booked. It's scheduled. We know who the competitors are. We know what vehicle they're going to be racing in. I actually know what tracks they're going out to, too. But we're not going to talk about the tracks here this evening. But, yes, we will, at the very end of this broadcast, we will announce what the next Forza Friday Night Fights event is going to be. We had one about a month ago between Salty Bonkos and Crimson. Salty Bonkos winning the viewer vote from that. We're going to go to a judged format here for the second one, the second ever Forza Friday Night Fights event. So, really looking forward to that. I'm excited to announce it. And then also a reminder that we have the Great American Go Left. I love the name. It's not very creative. It's not at all. But we have the Great American Go Left 500 that's going to be happening on July the 3rd. And I actually have more information about that here to share with you this evening. So hang tight all the way through the end of the broadcast because by doing so, you're going to be racking up more pit points and therefore more chances to redeem 1,000 of those pit points to get yourself an entry into our June 2020 raffle for a $100 digital gift card to Steam. So if you're a PC gamer, $100 for Steam. And that's all thanks to those in the month of April who went above and beyond with their whatchamacallits, their subscriptions, their donations. We had a really good run there in April, and so I'm able to take that and turn it around back to one lucky person who is going to win the raffle there. What's up there, Dino Dado? Heyo, heyo, Dino Dado in the house. All right, let's try out this new format. You guys shouldn't really notice anything different. It's just a different way of which I'm capturing it, and a different, slightly different resolution at which I'm capturing it as well, but I'm shooting it out into the interwebs to you all the same as I have in the past. It's just done a little bit differently on my end, on the pre-production side. Or I guess I should say on the production side, and then on the broadcast end is it should come through as the same resolution, should be the same bit rate, hopefully a bit better in terms of fidelity. All right, as long as it works, says Sober Dave. I know, as long as it works. Ghibli Jib says, "Oh my, that clown attire in the rain, spooky." I know. Who is that? Is that AMS Udakan, who has yet to hop out of the whatchamacallit, the clown garb? Matt 6661 with the host. Thank you so much there, Matt. Good to see you. Matt, up late here on what would be for you an early Wednesday morning. We're getting in here to qualifying. It's taking a little bit of time. Let me go ahead and throw some audio on. There we go. Getting ready for qualifying out here at Spa. I'm guessing they're not going to have the rain falling for qualifying. The rain will, the sky will open up and it'll be a deluge during the race itself. SVR Nemesis is here. DWM Frog is here. Cratrium's redeeming some points. He's lurking. He's redeeming points and he's lurking. Same goes for SGR Chaos Fox. Sober David's getting an entry as well. And yes, once you get that first entry, you can continue to rack up those 1,000 pit points and redeem them. So you can have multiple entries. The more entries you have, the more chances you have to win. The odds of winning are completely dependent on the number of entries received. No purchase necessary, and carry out on a spree here. The dude's insane. What they gifted tier 1 subscription to Dino Dado. So now Dino Dado will be sporting I think maybe a silver helmet. I think Dino Dado might be up to a silver helmet at this point. Still 20 drivers out there on the track. Here comes Carryout now with a gifted sub to 6661. Carryout's going to leave no man behind, apparently. Carryout, thank you so much, man. When I say, when I put the ask out there for anybody who's able and willing to go above and beyond to support the broadcast, you go above and beyond, and then you go above and beyond, above and beyond. The horizon is, just imagine you could see me waving my hand. The horizon is down here. Somewhere in the stratosphere is you up there. Crazy, dude. Thank you so much for that support. Not only on this broadcast, but I know you're spreading the love here in the Forza directory across different broadcasts. And so I think I speak for all of the Forza streamers when I say thank you. What a nice guy. All right, here we go. Qualifying underway out at Spa. It is the full track, and it is under a overcast sky. And like I mentioned, it is supposed to rain during the event. Will it just stay dry for qualifying? I expect that to be the case. However, I would not put it past Slow Motion Fire to put me in my place and show me up and prove me wrong by making it rain here in qualifying. It's not out of the realm of possibility. C400 is the class here for the Ford F100. This is the 1956 Ford F100. They put the 6.2-liter V8 under the hood. So a little bit of an upgrade to the motor as Modern Weapon leads Slow Motion Fire out of Lecombe up to Bruxelles on this outlap for qualifying, and Modern Weapon is all over the place there with that pickup truck. As you see the back end getting a little tail happy. Excuse me, D400, not C400. Sorry. Thank you, Nemesis. I appreciate it. I appreciate the correction. Yes, D400. Now into Puhan goes Modern Weapon and Slow Motion Fire. And here's the beauty of the virtual world of racing is that we can have everybody qualifying at once. Saves us time. And as a result, you'll notice that Slow Motion Fire, and there's a good example of it right there. His vehicle gets ghosted as he and Modern Weapon kind of share space. So there is no contact here during qualifying. That will change during the race itself, where full contact is turned on and simulation damage is turned on to give a little bit of realism to the event. Matt 6661 says it's good to see FM4 back. Oh, don't call it a comeback. They've been here for a while. I mean, FM4 is... I've been broadcasting their races here for the last 2 years, so they've been going for at least that long. And then, of course, I know, as Slow Motion Fire has told us, they date back to the Forza Motorsport days. Kind of the reason why they have that FM4 acronym or abbreviation. I guess Slow Motion Fire never expected it to extend beyond Forza Motorsport 4. And those white wall tires, yeah, it's really cool. The white wall tires, they have expanded or made the wheels, the rims larger. They're now 19-inch rims, whereas before I think they were maybe 16s, 15s or 16s. Let's go ahead and throw some stats there in the bottom left for you, and we'll put our camera on. Let's go back to, actually, let's go to DOR Hocus, who currently has the quickest time on a standing start of a 2:58.3. We'll see what happens here on the flying lap, and this is going to be one of those tracks where I suspect we may have a good chunk of drivers with dirty laps coming out of qualifying, which means you're going to be at the back of the pack for the grid. If you get a dirty lap, your fastest dirty lap will always be slower than the slowest clean lap as it relates to the grid ordering. So perhaps here at Spa, with this long 3-something mile long track, you're looking for a clean lap first and foremost, and then maybe on that third lap, after you've maybe secured a clean lap on lap 2, Maybe on that third lap is when you really push it. Matt says, I've been sleeping lately. Been a while since I last saw the FM4 race. Oh, in the Solstice. Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, you saw the Solstice. But, yeah, I mean, these guys, they've been – Slow Motion Fire has had them just chugging along. I mean, I want to say no breaks. Obviously, they take a little bit of an intermission between seasons, but that's usually occupied by off-season activity. So, really, the guys and gals of FM4 here, they're just at it. Now, of course, you can participate in one season and then decide to take a little bit of the next season off. That's perfectly acceptable, as many drivers do. So a lot of reasons to participate in the Forza Spec Racing Series. One of them being that you just never know what vehicle you're going to get from season to season until the championship or the champion is titled at the end of one season, and you go into the next season. They then take photos. Slow Motion Fire takes these obscure photos of the car. Everybody gets a shot at guessing. Everybody who's participating in the next season gets a shot at guessing at what that vehicle is, if you can make it out based on some of the cues, some of the things that he photographs. Then you get to select one of the tracks that is raced in the subsequent season, and then once everybody has guessed and all the tracks have been named and everybody is like, okay, cool, what's the vehicle? They then officially announce what the vehicle is. They give you the upgrade requirements because it is a spec season or a spec series. You do have to put your vehicle together in the way that is prescribed, and then you can make any number of tuning adjustments, at least the ones that Forza Motorsport 7 will allow you to do, to your heart's content, to your driving style, whatever you need to do to make it work for you. Here comes Slipstream there with the 15th quickest time, at least off of lap number 1, now across the line. And look at that, Slipstream with a 2:55.484. And I don't know, if I were to guess, I'm thinking maybe Udakan just doesn't have a clean lap at this point. I don't think he does. And so we'll see if Udakan can get a clean lap on this third run. As we saw out there at the Nürburgring Nordschleife last season, season 34 in the Pontiac Solstice GXP, not getting a good qualifying time can mean all the difference of, well, in Udakan's case, sweeping the entire season. He won out of 9 races, 8 of them, and the only one he lost, he came in second, back behind, I believe it was Corvid, who ended up winning that race. And so he fell 1 race short of a 9-race sweep, an entire season sweep. And so if he ends up at the back of the pack here out at Spa, his chances of having 2 straight weeks where he does not get 100 maximum points is very real possibility. Here comes Gotta Go Fast. And also keep in mind, not only if you're at the back of the pack for the start of the race, but when the rain starts to fall here at Spa, that makes it all the more unpredictable. Come on, Udakan, you're better than that, says Nemesis. I have both OBS Studio and Streamlabs OBS installed. All depends on what one I can be bothered to. You guys are talking about broadcast stuff. Hey, what's up there, Flip Mode? Good to see ya. Andy joining us here on the broadcast. Good to see you, and hope you're doing well, you and yours. Family, friends, Nemesis. To include SVR Nemesis, although I'm guessing he's not. Guessing he is not Flip Mode's actual nemesis, or maybe he's just everybody's nemesis. That's the reason he went with that gamer tag. AMS Udakan now with the top time at a 150, or excuse me, check that 253. If he did a 153, we'd really have to crack that car open and see what he's doing. See what kind of illegal stuff he's got going on. That would be a world record time. This is why I lurk at this time, because I get confusing, says Matt6661. I was going to say, I knew you had watched it. Maybe you're talking about something entirely different, but I know you had been here for previous FM4 races. I just wanted to make it clear for anybody else who might be watching for the first time. And Rodrigo, PJ39, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Virtual Auto Sports broadcast here on a Tuesday. If your first half of the week has not been the best, well, hopefully we can put you heading toward the back half in a much better situation. There goes a car flinging off the track toward pit lane. For what reason, I'm not sure, unless they were just crashing, because pit lane, there's no need for it here during qualifying. As AMS Huracan now crosses the line, the 252.898, so able to do one better there on that third lap. You bamboozled yourself. But yes, if you are new to the broadcast, please click that follow button if you enjoy the content. That way, the next time we go live, I'll show up either in your notifications, or if you have those turned off, then at the very least in your left-hand column here on Twitch or on mobile device when you go to your followed section. And that way you can find us easily here on Twitch. Broadcasting every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Almost every. I mean, there's points at which we take a break. After qualifying is wrapped up here, there's just one or two more cars crossing the line. Then we'll go take a look at the lap times to see where everybody's going to get sorted out in. And there it is. Hi-ya! Hi-ya! Don't mind my NASCAR, my Ford Pennzoil there. Just doing a little bit of NASCAR testing for an event that we've got to talk about at the end of this broadcast. So stick around. If you're interested in racing a 500-mile NASCAR event, then don't go anywhere for the next 2 hours. Stay put. All right, Slow Motion Fire was unable to achieve a clean lap. He'll be back toward the end of the pack. Dior Hocus with a 255.688. Modern Weapon will be joining Slow Motion Fire back there with another dirtied lap at a 258.186. Then you see Chaos Fox with a 303.012. And what that is that's Chaos Fox getting a clean lap, quite possibly on the out lap, and then unable to secure a clean lap for the next two laps. And as a result, Chaos Fox will be at the very back of the clean laps just before the dirty laps. So that's how that works. SGR Corvid with a 254.997, Slipstream at a 255.484. Got to go fast with a 257.748. Krachen with a 252.937. IPR Wolf with a 257. There's Fear the Fun with a 255.866. Good to see Fear the Fun back out on the track after taking week 2 off. AMS Huracan with a 252.898. That'll be good enough for pole. Muertismo at a 302.865. On Drex with a 257, a 306 there by Tom Morello. Yes, I know it's Tam Acello, but just instinctively my mind wants to go to Tom Morello, so we're going to go with that. DDM Zrolzi, I don't know, that looks like some sort of prescription drug. With a 258.422, first time racing here in season 34, and the Forza Spec Racing Series Grim with a 306.662. Gumby Greg at a 305, another dirty lap there with Beer 98 grams. Fox Jason D with a 307, and a Mega Chin coming in at a 312.19 aught. So those are all your lap times here following the qualifying session out here at Spa. Let's go ahead and bring into our driver's spotlight Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun, welcome back. Good to see you out on the track, and you're able to muster a 255. That's got to be good for at least row 2 or 3.
I think 2? No, 3. Tail in the
3. You come off of a week where you take a break, and rightfully so. How do you get yourself in the mindset to throw down a lap like that, especially out here at Spa, where it's very easy to make a mistake, and you could have very easily dirtied any one of those and found yourself at the back of the pack?
Would it be surprising if I said I took a sedative like an hour and a half ago?
That would be super surprising.
Well,
so you're racing with your eyes closed, you're telling me?
With less energy at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, Last week was kind of a doozy for me. This week, I'm still kind of recovering. I'm very shaky. My iron's coming up, and I'm not feeling like I'm going to pass out every 3 seconds, so that's better. But yeah, I'm still just on a little bit of a sedative right now, but I'm good.
Well, if we see you go in nose first and park there in Eau Rouge, we'll know why, and we won't hold it against you. Talking with Fear the Fun here in the driver's spotlight before we get ready for race number 6 here race number 5 here in season number 34 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. Since you weren't here for week number 2 and playing in the rain out at the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, you now get to jump into this race here tonight, which will be in the rain out at Spa. Have you done any testing with the F100 in the rain, or are you just going to see how well you're able to do once the rain starts falling?
It's practice just before practice started, so practice before practice. I got faster than Slip, who was second out of the people I have on my friends list in the series. I'm behind. I'm just behind CT by 2 tenths. I had a Slip by a tenth and a half, but I'm good. I think I've got enough practice. I hate the rain, so I'm probably not going to do great in the stretch, but it's not bad. I think I'm going to do better at Sonoma, but who knows? I could fall off there too.
One of these days, I'm going to ask somebody about practice, and they're going to give me the Allen Iverson practice. Practice? I don't need practice. Not expecting
that's
that.
That's the team no practice.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's the esports racing side of it where there's team no practice that I think all of us at one point or another, have been a part of team no practice, where we're just like, heck, screw it. I'm not gonna try it out. I'm just gonna show up to the race day. Fear the Fun. Last question for you before we throw you back and get ready for the race here is you come into week number 3 still hanging on there in 7th position. Obviously, if week 2 ends up being your drop week, that'll be good because those are a double goose egg. But you're still in the thick of it, and you've got Audrex, who's just in front of you. I don't actually find you battling it out with Audrex much, so that 1 point delta between you two should be pretty manageable.
When we get close to each other, he always drives away from me. He's just got another gear that I don't.
Yeah.
Like, if it's like an 18-speed bike and I'm in, like, 4th, he's always in 3rd.
Yeah.
So he's just that, or not 4th. If I'm in, like, 14th, he's always in 15th. Just that little bit faster.
Yep. All right, Fear the Fun. Well, again, I say it with all sincerity. Great to see you back there out on the track, and we'll look for you and see how well you do here at Spa.
Have a good day, man.
Yep, you too. And all the drivers getting readied up. Fear the Fun will be the last one to plug in and be good. And now we are up to 21 drivers, as it appears PXM Barney has joined the crew. And if I'm not mistaken, that may very well be the man or woman formerly known as Enraged Barney. So perhaps Enraged Barney now PXM Barney, and maybe somebody there from the chat will be able to give me the yay or nay on that. But heading out back to Spa after the qualifying session, so Slow Motion Fire is doing all of the ordering of the grid, and we will head out there for 10 laps. 10 laps around the track. AMS Udakan telling us there in the pit lane that he's not liking the handling. This was his selection. This was his selection after winning season number 33. And so sometimes you reap what you sow. But hey, any challenge for somebody who wins the championship, any challenge is a good challenge to see if you can go back-to-back, even if it means doing so in a vehicle that you're not too fond of. All right, let's put ourselves there camera-wise on Cratrim, row number 1 with AMS Udakan and Cratrim, Corvin and Slipstream there in row number 2. Then it's Hocus and Fear the Fun. So Carryout was mentioning that it was he and Fear the Fun that are on row number 3. And then let's see what else. I'm checking to make sure I got all my stuff right, because like I said, I have changed a few things on OBS, so I'm making sure that everything's okay before we go out to the track. Let's get ready to rumble, says Shrek. Yep, we're going to go rumbling and tumbling. Good luck, have fun, says Matt. All right, folks, here they are on the line out at Spa, race number 5, week number 3 in the Forza Spec Racing Series. AMS Uticon is on pole and will lead them off the grid here. It's a standing start. As soon as he moves, everybody else can leave. Kick the tires and light the fires. Here we go. Out in the Belgian forest, up to turn number 1. It's La Source. And there goes Cratrum to the inside. AMS Uticon goes ahead and applies the block. A no-go for the No Coast Brewing car. A Slipstream there in 3rd position. Corbin in 4th. 5th is Hocus. Wolf in 6th. Audrex is in 7th. Zorolziak, or whatever that is, I don't know, in 8th. 9th is Fear the Fun and Chaos Fox. They're in 10th position. Here they come up the hill of Eau Rouge, trying to keep it clean. You better believe Slow Motion Fire is giving them all fair warning that don't cut Eau Rouge there, heading up into the Radion. And now down the Kimball Straight, they'll go up to Lacombe, 7, 8, and 9, with AMS Uticon still leading them. They're in that pretty plain livery, that AMS Uticon. We got to give him absolutely 0 points. Absolutely 0 points for effort on the livery. Here comes Cratrum. Then Corbett, who seems to be challenged there by Slipstream. So let's go back to Slipstream, who's in the Hyperdrive F100, into Bruxelles, the hairpin. It's more like the size of a horseshoe. If it were amplified a little bit, we've got a car that's well out to the, is that Dior Hocus, who was running wide, coming there through number 11, now down 12, which is Puhan. This is the one that always trips me up. I'm like over there, like they might as well set up like a drive-in movie theater there at the bottom of Puhan, because that's where I would be watching the big screen, because I'm just so far off the track. Now into 13 and 14. 14 is Campus, up to Stavelot, which is 15, as they come out of the back half here of Spa. Hocus, Fear the Fun, 5th and 6th. Wolf in 7th. Z-Roll, I'm going to call him Z-Roll there in 8th position. Audrex in 9th, got to go fast in 10th. As we continue to hang out here with Slipstream, let's ride on board with Slipstream, as he's got SGR Corbin out in front of him. They're in 3rd position. AMS Uticon taking off like a bat out of hell as he starts to put in his rearview mirror Cratrum. Cratrum, who is 2nd right now on the leaderboard with 97 points to AMS Uticon's 100. DWM Frog there in the chat saying will get very interesting when the rain starts. That it will. Here they come into the bus stop. 19, 20, the left-hander toward the start-finish line in the beginning of lap number 10 here, or excuse me, lap number 2 of 10. That 11th lap there in the upper left-hand corner, that will be a cool-down lap. Into Losaurus once again. Corvin leading Slipstream. Let's go ahead and hop back off, get our replay camera, and there's DOR Hocus. About 2 or 3 car lengths, make that maybe even 4 pickup truck lengths behind Slipstream as they come up Eau Rouge here for the 2nd time. SGR Corbin's going to run wide. That's going to allow Slipstream to cut it back over and maybe make a run, as I believe Corbin is maybe self-assessing a bit of a penalty there. I think he came off the accelerator knowing that he took Eau Rouge a little bit too far to the inside, almost making it a straight line up the hill. And into Radion and out of Radion, down the Kimball Straight, now into 7, 8, 9. Corbin makes that move on the inside there through turn 7, secures it 8, then 9, out of Lacombe up to 10. So Slipstream will have to have another go at it to see if he can't find himself around Corvid. Dwayne, 2468. Thank you so much for the follow. This game gets intense. I'm glad you think so, because the Forza Spec Racing Series, these guys and gals do a great job putting on a show for us. And I say show because that's really what it is for you all, the viewers. But they just put on some really good for them, really great racing, really good competition from front of the pack all the way to the back. It doesn't matter how skilled you are. If you race clean, you're welcome to run with these guys and gals here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, or FM4. All the details over at reddit.com/r/FM4. We continue to watch Slipstream here in 4th position because he was not only challenging Corvid for P3, but he is also defending Dior Hocus back behind him in 5th position. Let's go to Hocus's car. And I know we were watching from the hood of Slipstream in this same area of the track last time through. Let's go to Hocus as he sees 3rd and 4th out in front of him. The Rain-X car, and actually Hocus sharing, I believe on social media, is where I saw this, got a sneak peek of this Rain-X pickup truck because he said, you know what, it's going to be raining out at Spa. We're going to need those Rain-X wipers. That man a sponsorship into 19 and 20 to conclude lap number 2. Back across the line, beginning of lap number 3. And Tolosaurus once again, and the drivers hunkering down on that apex, not letting anybody try to make a run at them on the inside line. Back behind Hocus is now Fear the Fun in 6th position. IPR Wolf in 7th. Z-Roll in 8th. Audrex in 9th. Got to go fast in 10th position. So Fear the Fun telling us there in the driver's spotlight in between qualifying and the race that typically he and Audrex are not on the same wavelength from race to race. They both do exceptionally well every time they're out here on the track, but don't often find themselves within proximity of each other, and that is the case as of right now with Fear the Fun. Well, Fear the Fun now has dropped back to 7th position, whereas he was in 6th. Let's actually go to Fear the Fun right now. Let's put our camera on that pickup as Fear the Fun actually now makes the move there, coming out of 7, around IPR Wolf to get back into 6th. We'll see how long it lasts as they come up to Bruxelles. Love that paint job there on IPR Wolf's 1956 F100. There goes Fear the Fun. He's going to slide the back end out. A little bit of a slide job. Now here comes IPR Wolf right there on his tailgate as they come out of 11. Let's see here as they go into Puhan. This is always the true test. You run wide, you could have 2, 3, maybe even 4 cars sneaking up and making a move on you, and that's not going to be the case. As a matter of fact, back there in 8th position is Z-Roll, who's going to slide out a little bit, which is going to bring him off pace of IPR Wolf there, who is in 7th. Now, back through, this is going to be 13, 14, up to 15, is Fear the Fun, who starts to establish a bit of separation. The slide is almost like a style here in these Ford F100s. We see it both with Fear the Fun, then you've got IPR Wolf who's doing it, and then of course Z-Roll, who is doing it down the hill out of Puhan, the left-hander. Let's see, back behind Z-Roll is Audrex in 9th, got to go fast, still there in 10th. Let's return to Slipstream, who is in 4th, hasn't yet found a way around Corbin, and at the same time has not permitted Hocus to get by. And Masunukan now crossing the line from the beginning of lap number 4. He continues to be out in front of Cratrim by about a half to 1 full second as they come out of La Source and now toward Eau Rouge. Ghibli Jib saying gobble gobble, go a little crazy on the throttle. Not quite a rhyme, but it works. I like it. I like rhyming as a prerequisite here. There goes Slipstream. He's going to look to the inside. He really had a good line there. Up Eau Rouge. Corbin's been a little iffy coming up the hill. again, they've opted here in Season 34 for the 6.2-liter V8 motor here in the F100. D400 Performance Index, for those of you aware of what that is here in Forza Motorsport 7, and whether you've got it for the Xbox One or the PC, you too can participate in this series. Out of Bruxelles goes Anna Sudakan. Let's go quickly up to Craytrim. He's not really contesting at this point, but every turn is an opportunity. You see the tail lamps there of Udakan as he lines it up for the downhill left-hander. There goes Craytrim. Back to Slipstream in fourth. They make the turns look so smooth. I'm usually kicking the tail out of the understeer. Yeah, well, yeah, I'll do you one better. I'm usually just spinning my vehicle out. Now into turn 16. As they make the charge toward Blanchemont. Into turn 18, which is also a tricky corner right here. Well, not yet. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. Another one that I traditionally run wide on. Anna Sudakan telling us that during qualifying, he had damage to his clutch, and so that's another thing that our drivers may have to be mindful about. Sure, you shouldn't need new tires, a full tank of fuel in any of these races from race 1 to race 8. Race 9, the finale, a little bit of a different story. But with simulation damage turned on, that isn't to say that you may not find, or that you won't find yourself in a pit lane if you don't do any sort of damage to your vehicle. That would include clutch, transmission, maybe making contact with the wall, have to get some of that aero repaired, or any of the other mechanical bits. Up the Eau Rouge Hill they go once again, with Slipstream still here in fourth as he starts to see Hocus fall out of his rearview mirror, or at least get smaller back there. Corvid now 4 or 5 pickup truck length lead. Our leader, AMS Udakan, now approaching one of our back markers. Let's go to, let's see, we've got Fear the Fawn, who now has secured 6th position and is out there by quite a ways. Let's go to Z-Roll, DDM Z-Roll here in 8th position, back behind Wolf, and he's got Audrex behind him in 9th, and I suspect got to go fast, still in 10th. Indeed, Chaos Fox, part of the SGR Scrubs Go Racing team, in 11th position. Slow Motion Fire in 12th. Modern Weapon is 13th, with Muertismo back behind him in 14th. Then it's PXM Barney in 15th. Grim in 16th. 17th is Beer. Then Gumby Greg, Fox Jason, Tom Morello, or Tam Ocello in 20th. Megachin in 21st. 21 drivers still out on the track of the 21 who started. I might have to build one and make it my actual D-Class car, says Nemesis. There you go. Will there be tunes for the trucks? Asked Preston there in the chat. Certainly, the Forza Spec Racing Series is a very much a brother/sisterhood type atmosphere, or a beer league, as Slow Motion Fire would dub it. And to that point, if you need help with a tune, you better believe that you'll find somebody there in the league who will help you out. I know for certain there are a number of drivers out here on the track who are using other drivers' tunes. let's go back to Slipstream here in 4th position, who has caught up with Corbin as they go across the line for their beginning of lap 6. Oh, we're losing frames. Wait for him. Wait for him. I think we got the frames back. I think we got it back. How does the broadcast look, by the way? Does it look a little bit smoother? That was the problem with the broadcast of late, as of late. At least the problems that I was seeing was that it was looking a little choppy, which is weird because, again, we've gone 2 years without any problems, and now here as we approach year 3, since I started broadcasting again, that it started getting choppy. What are you guys seeing right now? Apart from the drop frames that just happened, that I know existed. Here comes Slipstream now, who was right up on the passenger door panel of Corvette up Eau Rouge. Slipstream has been a lot more efficient through 3, 4, and 5 than Corvette has, which always puts him right there up onto the back tailgate of Corvette, but then Corvette apparently has the rest of Spa figured out. Looks good, you guys are saying. Awesome. Seems better for me. I used to have a problem with buffering quite a bit, says Sober David. The buffering wasn't my... You wouldn't have seen buffering as a result of my broadcast. The buffering would have been on either on your end or the Twitch end. It was the choppiness. Like, there was some pretty noticeable choppiness in our Sunday broadcast that I wanted to work out. Look at this. We got 2 wide now coming down Puhan. There with Corbin getting side by side with Megachin, and just that little bit of the back markers out on the track, that little bit of you just not knowing where they're going to go, where they're going to be, allowed Slipstream to close in significantly. Again, everybody, no matter your skill level, able to race here in FM4 as long as you race clean, and that doesn't mean you have to fling your car off the track whenever you see approaching lead lap traffic. It just means you have to know where that racing line is and kind of oblige the other drivers to use it while you take the path less traveled. But still, it can throw off. It can really mess with the psyche of the lead drivers who are just in the zone, and especially Corbin, when you know you've got close competitors right on your tail. To have an obstruction out in front of you can throw you for a loop a little bit. Only having a 1080p option isn't great. I'm not sure why that's the case, Sober David. I don't know why. You should have multiple options here for broadcasting. You definitely should. Oh no. And see, now I'm starting to see some choppiness. Are you guys seeing that? On. Twitch has to assign you the multiple options, Dustin. Well, the way it works is that, so I do have the multiple options. The way it should work is that once you have so many viewers, it then gives the viewers multiple options. What you might want to do is refresh either your browser or if you're on mobile to just back out and re-enter the stream. You should have the options, because affiliates, it's a matter of once you hit a certain amount of viewers, the options kick in. Because we definitely have options on this broadcast. I used to have my mobile device sit with me, and that way I could monitor performance, and I was always able to switch options. So if you're not able to do it right now, you should maybe try to, and I don't mean to back out of the stream, maybe not right now as the race is happening, but perhaps during our intermission in between races. Interesting. Only one option right now. Huh. Yeah, there definitely should be different options, especially with the number of viewers that we have right now. All right, running through the field, AMS Unicon is out in the lead by a big margin. So unless he makes a mistake here on the last 3 laps, should be able to secure the win. Krejcir there in second. SGR Corbett here continues to fight off Slipstream, and that's where we've had our camera for the majority of this race now as they come out of turn number 15 and up to 16. Dior Hokus remains in fifth position. He's just waiting for one of these two to make a mistake. That way he can take advantage of that. Fear the Fun is climbing up. He was having to battle 7th, 8th, and 9th a bit ago, but once he got his truck to settle down, he's been cruising. And actually, I just noticed we don't have any rainfall, which is odd. We should have had rain, so I don't know if Soul Motion Fire forgot to kick the sprinkler on, or if maybe they decided last minute that they were going to make this a dry race. And there goes Slipstream into the left quarter panel of Corbett's tailgate, which sends him almost spinning around. And so now Corbett drops back to fourth position with Hokus still in fifth. And again, I'm sorry for the jitteriness of the broadcast. I don't know what's going on with that right now. This is really, really weird. I'm not liking it. I'm going to go ahead and switch. It should be pretty seamless for you all. My CPU is running at 22% right now. So it's not bad. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if maybe there's something about the latest NVIDIA drivers that is messing with stuff. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I've switched the video source, so let me know if that makes it look a bit better. And now, as I talk about the rain having not yet fallen, here it comes. I've opened up the ceiling, and so for the next 2.5 laps here, our drivers will have to contend with the wet weather. What's going on? We previously had no issues streaming here on Virtual Auto Sports. Fear the Fun in 6th position. IPR Wolf is in 7th. Z-Roll in 8th. Audrex in 9th. Gotta go fast in 10th. We have not seen much change in position here in the top 10. Perhaps the same cannot be said from 11th on back. 11th currently occupied by Chaos Fox, who actually has been there for a little bit. Soul Motion Fire in 12th. Modern Weapon here in 13th. Where Tismo in 14th. 15th is Barney. Then Grim, Fox Jason, Gumby Greg, Beer, Tam Ocello, and Megachin are pretty spread thin. So no real big battles there in the back. Let's go ahead and let's go to Z-Roll in 8th position, with IPR Wolf there in 7th, as now the track begins to unable to absorb the rain, and now is got a nice slick surface. I think the weatherman heard you and said, "Oh yeah, that's right, the rain." Look at that. Right up on the back bumper is Z-Roll coming out of 19 into 20. And going to fight IPR Wolf for it. Really put the hammer down, but as you can see, it just spun the tires and sent the back end there of the F100 in a bit of a fishtail. And now our race leader, AMS Udakan, dealing with one more back marker. That might be the last back marker Udakan's going to have to fight with here for this race. Krejcir still there in 2nd with Slipstream in 3rd. SGR Corbin in 4th, closing in on Slipstream. So Corbin trying to reclaim 3rd after giving up that podium spot a lap or 2 back. Back up Eau Rouge as they struggle. You can see the trucks just kind of squiggling up the hill like snakes here into Radion, and then through the Kimmel Straight up to 7, 8, 9. Comes IPR Wolf to the inside. Z-Roll on the outside. That's going to set Z-Roll up. Oh, and I thought it was going to set him up for the next one. It would have, had it not been for a trip into the cones. Goes ahead and knocks a few of them over. And now here they come out of the cone down the hill. Let's go to Corbin in fourth. Let's see here on the back half of Spa in the rain. Can he muster enough of that F100's strength? And actually, that's probably not the what he needs. He just needs its agility and whatever grip he can find to get a line around Slipstream, who now has just 4 corners left here to make it stick and pick up a podium spot. They've got a back marker out in front of them too as they come up to turn 18 out of Blanchimont. It's going to be Mega Chin there in 21st. And here they come. Up to 19 and 20. Slipstream lines it up. Corbett's going to run it wide into the first part of it, but that could be nice here for the next turn. And it was pretty nice. He was up on the apex, but just can't get around Slipstream, who will finish in third. Corbin in fourth. Fifth is going to go to Hocus. Fear the Fun closing in, but just not enough laps to gather any more spots. He'll finish in sixth. Seventh, IPR Wolf. Let's go to Z-Roll here in eighth as they come out of 20, and it's going to be Wolf in seventh. Z-Roll eighth. Ninth goes to Odd Drex. Got to go fast back there in 10th. Let's go to Chaos Fox in 11th. Chaos Fox holding off Slow Motion Fire. Can she do it? Or can he do it? And he does. Across the line just barely as Slow Motion Fire was sneaking up there in 12th position. Behind them is Modern Weapon in 13th. Should be good for the 13th place finish. Martismo in 14th. Barney in 15th. And the rest of the vehicles, I think, will just finish where they stand. I don't know that they'll race back toward the line. And actually, I'm getting well ahead of myself. This is the final lap. Pardon me. Wow, haven't done that in a long time. The white flag flew the last time by the flag stand. Now we are on the final lap. So, yeah. Slipstream has not yet secured third position as Corbett's going to get right here on the back tail. Coming out of 11, the tailgate. Into 12. I was just testing you all as the viewers. Yeah, that's what it was. Slipstream runs wide through Puhan. That's going to allow Corbett there through the inside line. And I think he's got it. Yes, he does. So Corvid says, Dustin, you fool. This race ain't over yet. Jumps out. Back up to P3. Can he hold on? That's the question. Now our race leader, AMS Udakan, heading up to the line, finishing first. Craytream in second. Here comes Slipstream looking to the inside. He just can't hold that line, though. The F100 wants to drift outward. Let's see what happens here into the final 2 corners. Quickly to Slipstream's view. Into 19, here's 20, and not going to be able to make it happen. Corbett's going to pick up third after the last lap heroics, and Careful there, Slipstream. You don't want to give up any more positions. Holds on to it. Oh my gosh, that was close. D.O.R. Hocus in 5th. Fear the Fun. I said he needed a few more laps. Perhaps maybe just one would have been enough to get him another spot, but just can't make it happen. Hocus in 5th. Fear the Fun in 6th. 7th goes to IPR Wolf. Z-Roll in 8th. Audrex in 9th. Here comes Gotta Go Fast with Slow Motion Fire in 11th. And Slow Motion Fire with a move there on Chaos Fox. Gotta Go Fast picks up a top 10 and slow with 11th. Chaos in 12th. 13th, Modern Weapon. Let's go to Mortismo here in 14th position. '15th for PXM Barney. Grim in 16th. 17th will go to Fox Jason. Gumby Greg in 18th. Beer 98 in 19th. Tam Ocello. There I go again. I should just say Tom Morello and just be done with it. 20th, Mega Chin in 21st. All 21 drivers who entered completed the race. Man, that's a first time in a long time that we've had all drivers who started the race completed. Well done for everybody to stay out there, because sometimes they're voluntary exits under their own volition, and other times it's unavoidable disconnects. This time, we escape both. And with that, folks, I'm going to go ahead, take note of where everybody finished. That way I have my records to refer back to for our next race, race number 6 here of season number 34, and the first race of the second half of season 34, because the first half is now complete. I'm going to run some ads, which I promise you, just as the screen suggests, you will not miss anything. You're not going to miss anything. So hang tight. The ads do support the broadcast, both me and then also for our viewers who may be joining us a little bit later on. It'll allow them to avoid the pre-roll ads. That way they can get right into the action. So about 3.5 minutes worth of ads here, and then we will be right back. Maybe talk to one or two of our drivers here in the driver's spotlight before we get ready for qualifying out at Sonoma. I'm Dustin Moore. This is the Forza Spec Racing Series, season number 34, week 3, live on Twitch TV. For those of you who do not have ads, either because there's just no ads available for you or you're a subscriber of the channel, thank you so much with your support by being a viewer here tonight on a Tuesday evening, or maybe it's an early, or I guess maybe a late Tuesday afternoon, or maybe it's an early Wednesday morning. Whichever is the case, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll get back to the action here shortly as the rest of our viewers wrap up their ads here in the next minute. If you're new to the broadcast, a hello in the chat would be awesome. If you are new to the channel, also a follow would be greatly appreciated if you enjoy the action here for the rest of the evening. HTM Booty Juice. That's a weird name, but thank you very much for the follow and welcome to the channel. Matt 6661 A. And welcome back to Virtual Auto Sports here live on Twitch TV. Wrapping up the first race of the evening out at Spa with a little bit of rain. It actually wasn't as much of a deluge as I had expected it to be. I don't know if Slow Motion Fire was feeling a little bit generous here today, or if that was in the cards all along and I just didn't brush myself up on the forecast. But not too bad out there to close things up for the first half of Season 34. Our next race out at Sonoma, well, first will be preceded by qualifying. So we got the 3 laps of qualifying, but that'll kick off the back half here of Season 34 before we head into week number 5, which includes a couple of races out at Watkins Glen and Homestead Speedway. So if you're enjoying the action and what you see here tonight, know that there's much more of it a week from tonight, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then 2 weeks from tonight is the finale of Season 34 on June 22nd or 23rd? 23rd out at Hockenheim Ring. Closing things up there, and that's a look at the standings entering week number 3. AMS Udakan picking up his 4th win here in Season 34. So already showing signs that he may go back-to-back after winning Season 33 in the Pontiac Solstice GXP. Let's go ahead to our driver's spotlight. IPR Wolf joins us here tonight as we've got you, at least I'm showing you, as 7th place in the finish out there at Spa.
That's correct.
Pretty good. If I remember correctly, I mean, you guys were fighting there in the top 10 all throughout the race. Not a lot of change in position, but was there anything there about the rain falling, and it didn't seem to start falling until about lap 8? Was there anything there that then changed the dynamic of the event, or was it pretty, I don't want to say smooth sailing, but were you pretty locked in all the way to the end?
Well, rain definitely made things interesting in the sense that it reduced a lot of the friction, which, as it stands, these trucks don't grip all that well. So, yeah, had to account for that. And initially, Zach had me in braking because I was kind of getting my rhythm for the rain and all that. It's kind of a weird sort of transitional thing of having to adjust each lap since the track is starting to get wetter and wetter. But after that, it was more of just getting back into that same rhythm. Just now, we're braking a little bit later than we were in the dry.
Yeah, talking with IPR Wolf here in the driver's spotlight as we get ready for our second race of the evening. Slow Motion Fire is making a lobby adjustment, so just throwing that out to you, IPR Wolf, once we get done with our interview here. But, yeah, Fear the Fun, he was the one driver who contested you there early on in that race, able to get by, and then you were holding off Z-Roll, Audrex, got to go fast. What were you feeling there with Fear the Fun? Did you feel like for a while that you were going to be able to keep pace with him until he got around you, or pretty much did you think that, hey, once he gets by me, this dude's gone?
I pretty much knew he was going to be gone as soon as he passed me. So and eventually it got to the point where he was just keeping that consistency much better than I was keeping mine, and so in the end, I didn't really protest much to when he passed. He passed me,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
those drivers, once you kind of see them go by, you're like, all right, well, that'll be the last time I see you. Talking with Fear the Fun, or excuse me, not Fear the Fun. We're talking with IPR Wolf, who we were just mentioning Fear the Fun. But IPR Wolf, we're now done with rain here in season 34. I'm guessing maybe that brings a smile to your face. And we head out to Sonoma, which it's a NASCAR track. Obviously, the 56 Ford F100 is nothing like a NASCAR, but it's an interesting and a different dynamic of a circuit. It's nothing like Spa whatsoever, and it is the short version of this track. So are you looking forward to it, or I don't know, maybe is Sonoma on your bad list in terms of tracks here in Forza 7?
I do not really jive with Sonoma all that much, mainly because the track has a bunch of the hills and all of that unsettled the car early on, and especially, like I said, with these trucks, they don't have as much grip all around, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a pain trying to manage to throttle over those hills early on.
Yeah, it definitely will be. We'll see what happens here as they come up to turn number. That's going to be after you come off the start-finish line. Turn 2 up the hill there, and even more tricky through 3. IPR Wolf, great chatting with you. Congratulations on your 7th place finish there at Spa. We'll see what you do here in qualifying out at Sonoma.
Alrighty, thank you.
All right, DOR Hocus, I do see you there. I will pull you in just a second. I want to try to get back into the lobby here as Slow Motion Fire. Fortunately, the disconnect came at a time in which the race was done. So now Slow Motion Fire trying to get back into a new lobby, which is requiring all the drivers to then, realign themselves to a new lobby and all that. So working that out on my end as well. And where is Slow Motion Fire? Again, this new Xbox app is really playing tricks with me. I'm not seeing Slow Motion Fire. How do I find you? I don't even see any of my actual friends on my friends list. It's like just a bunch of random people. Well, this is not friend of friends. So I've got an entire list of people who are friends of my friends. How do I get to the people who are just my friends? Is what I need to know. I don't need the friends of my friends and their friends. That doesn't help me, Xbox app. Nastvet or Nasvet 88, thank you so much for the follow. And HTM Booty Juice, funny name, by the way. Thank you for the follow. I did shout that one out, but it was during the ad, so you might not have heard me. Thank you for supporting the broadcast with your follows and showing that you're at least interested in it and wanting to see more of the broadcast. There we go. I had to restart the app, and now I've got Slow Motion Fire. So get into that lobby, and then if we've got time, depending on what it looks like, where they're at in terms of going out for qualifying, maybe we'll get DOR Hocus in here if he hasn't already run off out of Discord. He has not. And there we go in the lobby. Let's go ahead and bring in DOR Hocus here. Who, we had our camera on DOR Hocus there for a bit. You and Slipstream and Corvid, who was in P3, then dropped back to P4 there for a little bit. I was thinking that maybe between the two of them, they would cause an incident, especially as the rain started to fall, and that you would be able to take advantage. That was not the case, and you were in 5th almost the entire race, if not the entire race.
The entire race. I was not able to catch them. I would get really close as they would battle, going back and forth a little bit, and then as soon as they straightened out, got back in line, they were gone.
Did you feel like you had pace with them and that you were just, hey, let me just be patient in case there is that mistake, or do you legitimately feel like you were just close because of the fight that they were having between each other?
I had pace through the corners. I think my handling through the corners was a little bit better, but they had me on the straights because I had a lot of downforce, and they probably had a lot less downforce.
And as I was mentioned with IPR Wolf, we go from Spa in the rain, which, again, we get rid of any Mother Nature's impacts on these races from this point forward, and we go from a track that is vastly different from that of Spa out here at Sonoma. Where are you expecting yourself to be at the end of qualifying to maybe have a chance to make another run at those two here for this race?
Qualifying, I'm hoping that I at least make it into the top 10, and by the finish of the race, I hope I finish first.
Hoping that you finish first. And as we speak here in the broadcast, DOR Hocus finishing in, I didn't even actually mention your finishing position, finishing 5th there in front of Fear the Fun, who was closing on you big time. Is that a name that you're watching here at Sonoma? He closed that gap there in the last couple of laps out at Spa. Do you suspect he'll come knocking on the tailgate here again?
Here, yes, of course. Fear's really good. He'll probably end up beating me very, very badly in this race.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see, Dior Hocus. Any adjustments that you make to the vehicle coming out of those two rain races with the Brands Hatch last week, Spa for the first half of tonight's racing? Any adjustments that you make to the vehicle, or did you keep the vehicle pretty much in the same setup between wet and dry tracks?
No, since it was going to be a slight rain at the end, I set the truck up for dry track.
Okay.
Which is why Fear caught me in the last 2 laps in the rain. I tried a rain setup, and it was okay, but I changed it at the end because it was going to be mostly dry anyway, and I would have been really bad in the dry with a wet setup.
All right, Dior Hocus, I think you're giving yourself a lot less credit than you deserve. We'll see how well you do in qualifying, and then, of course, the race thereafter.
Thank you.
All right. There's so many just humble drivers in the Forza Spec Racing Series community. There's a lot of them who will come on here and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna get my tailgate blown off in this race," and then you get out here and not usually the case. You don't usually see drivers get blown out when we're talking about two drivers who are very, very strong, very, very high performing drivers. Fear the Fun too. While we give him a lot of credit for how well he does, also has a tendency from race to race to have just really bad turnout, whether it be get caught up in an accident or just do something that maybe he was being too aggressive or being a little bit too lackadaisical. He finds himself falling further back than he really should. And so there's always that wild card too. And then, of course, the super-duper wild card that he told us there in the driver's spotlight before the Spa event is that he's on a sedative, and so he's hoping that he could stay awake here for both events. Slow Motion Fire telling us there in the pit lane, or the Twitch chat, as everybody else knows it, that we are going live for qualifying. 3 laps out here at Sonoma. And look at that. We get the nice, clear blue skybox. That's unusual. Usually it's either the cloudy skybox or like the early, I think it's like dawn, like a dawn early morning skybox. But here today we're just legitimately getting a nice blue sunny sky. I like it. All right, the drivers at the front of the grid already taken off here for the qualifying session. They are placed in no particular order for this part of the night's festivities, pardon me. And now up the hill comes Beer. That's turn number 2 there, and they are going to be tested here in this race with the acceleration uphill, and then you've got the squiggly bits here on the back end of Sonoma. And this is actually the NASCAR route, this short circuit. They call it the short circuit. It's not. At least they call it the short circuit here in Forza Motorsport 7, only because it doesn't take in. It doesn't run into the infield area, which then takes you out onto the Sonoma drag strip. Instead, you take you go into the chute here on the backside of the track, which is 4A, and that takes you to turn 7, which takes you around the end of the drag strip. It's not necessarily short. It's not a short track. It's pretty long track, and they'll do 21 laps here out at this one. We'll go ahead and throw some stats there underneath the map for you. 3 laps of qualifying, that first one being an out lap. 2 flying laps to follow. Let's go to Tam Ocello. Good luck, have fun, says Matt. Booty Juice saying earlier that this is a fun track. Sonoma is a fun track. It is. I like this track. The Sonoma circuit debuted, I want to say it was Forza Motorsport 4. I always have you guys, the fact checkers, correcting me or backing me up if I get it right. But I think it was Forza Motorsport 4 where we first saw Sonoma. Here comes Tam, and Tam's going to run wide up two as Slow Motion Fire carries on. Let's go to Slow Motion Fire. Yes, go Grim, says Bright Eyes 2000. Welcome to the broadcast, Bright Eyes. Cheering on Grim. Let's go ahead here in qualifying, since we're not looking at any particular battle. Let's go to Grim, who currently is showing as having the 14th quickest lap out of that out lap. Now up the hill goes Grim, who's got a Weezer mobile. A Weezer paint job. Lime green, the Weezer band name on the side of the 56 Ford F100. Going to take it nice and gentle into turn 4A. Through the chute, up to 7 in 7A. Nazvet saying the stream is just black for me. Anybody else having a problem? DWM Frog saying no problem here. So yeah, Nazvet, if you can hear my voice, if you can hear the sound of my voice, then do a little refresh. You should be okay. I haven't seen any issues with the stream since we had that weird little stuttering problem which reared its ugly head there at Spa, but it seems to have cleaned itself up. And Cratrium with a 128.648. Very early, though, as all of our drivers are finishing up their first flying lap, lap number 2 here of 3. There's the Weezer Mobile with Cratrium ghosted out. And Cratrium now with a 127.433. So Cratrium's going to go back-to-back there with quick laps here at Sonoma. Let's see what his third and final qualifying lap is going to be. Here comes SGR Corvid up the hill, and Corvid not having a good qualifying session here at Sonoma, and he struggles a bit coming up to 2 there in the F100. Audrey Rex in the AMD Risen Mobile right behind him. Booty Juice saying no problems. Nesvet, hopefully we'll get you back here. And thank you for that follow. I feel like I didn't say it, but maybe I did. Nazvet88, thank you so much for the follow. And anybody who's watching the broadcast, click that button. Hit it. I dare you. Do it. Do it now. Greatly appreciate it. And here comes Corbin. And actually, while you're here and while we're in qualifying, and I'm not calling any battles right now. I haven't yet done it in the midst of the broadcast, in the middle of the broadcast at least. Hang tight with us here on Virtual Autosports, because the more you watch, the more chances you have to redeem an entry into our June 2020 giveaway, which will be concluding on June 28th. I'm giving away a $100 Steam digital gift card. So if you're a PC gamer, and there goes Grim into the tire wall here at turn 11. Heading back toward the start-finish line on that third and final flying lap. Cratrium with a 127.433. Looks like that could be the quick time here out at Sonoma for qualifying. $100 Steam Digital gift card given away on June 28th. To enter, you need to redeem those $1,000 pit points that we have, or channel points. Oh, that's the FM4. That's the FM4. Subreddit, which is great, because if you want to race with these guys and gals here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, reddit.com/r/FM4 is the place to go. But here's information on the raffle. No purchase necessary whatsoever. You don't have to be a subscriber to enter this raffle. That would be gambling, and I don't have a license to be able to host any sort of gambling. So no purchase necessary. Just keep watching the broadcast. The longer you watch the broadcast, the more of those pit points you'll earn. Redeem every 1,000 for an entry. Every 1,000 gets you another entry, which gives you more chances to win. Odds of winning completely dependent on the number of entries received. 127.983 there by Slipstream. And these are in no particular order, because Forza Motorsport 7 does not allow us to organize these by best laps. Instead, It's just telling us who had the shortest amount of time out there on the track, which tells us nothing right now. IPR Wolf with a 128.960. Slow Motion Fire with a 133.79. Beer at a 134.066. There's Fear the Fun with a hot tamale at a 128.342. 127.885 there by Udakan. That'll be good enough for row number 2, I think. Going to share some space there with Slipstream, I think. Cratrim with that 127.433. That should be good for pole position. Hocus with a 131.528. Fox Jason with a 133.817. Gumby Gray with a 137, 131 for Modern Weapon. Tom Morello with a 140.805. Gotta Go Fast with a 131.006. SGR Corby with a 127.921. Oddrex 128.353. Barney with a 131.652. Grimm, who we saw eat it into the tire wall there at turn number 11 on that third and final qualifying lap, means he was unable to secure a clean lap time, and by default will be at the very back of the pack with a 133.724. SGR Chaos Fox with a 138.24. Joe Beardy with a 129. Joe Beardy is cruising. That was a name that for a couple of seasons there I was telling everybody to watch out for. Joe Beardy is the dark horse here in season number 34. Entered week number 3 in 11th position overall on the leaderboard with 62 points. That has him tied for IPR Wolf, at least coming into week 3. We'll see what week number 3 does to his points once Slow Motion Fire tallies them all up here this evening. And Mortismo with a 130.471. There you go, folks. That's a run through the qualifying times. Slow Motion Fire will get them all readied up on the grid. I look over at the queue for interview. Nobody tuned in there, so we will talk to our drivers, whichever ones want to chat with us here at the end of the broadcast. Also, hang tight all the way to the end of the broadcast because I mentioned the pit points that you can enter for the raffle, but then also we're going to talk about the Great American Go Left 500, or the Gaggle 500 as I call it. That's the real true name, the Gaggle 500, coming up on July 3rd. Stay tuned to that. We've got some info that released here today. I will share a little bit of that, and then also information on a practice session that we'll be doing for the Gaggle 500. And then also announcing tonight, you guys will be the first to hear it, the second of our Forza Friday Night Fights. This will be only the second one that we've ever hosted. The first one was Salty Boncos versus Crimson. Salty Boncos just barely edging out Crimson in terms of the viewer vote to be our first ever champion of Forza Friday Night Fights. We're going to announce the next two are going to be stepping into the ring, so to speak, for 8 rounds of racing here in Forza Motorsport 7 to determine who is quickest. In addition to who the competitors are, it'll also unveil the vehicle that they will be racing in. So exciting stuff there. All the reasons to hang out with us all the way to the end of the broadcast through the driver interviews and to rack up those pit points. 21 drivers out here on the track, 21 who entered Spa as well. So perhaps the same group of folks. Sometimes between races we have one drop out, another one jumps in. But 21 drivers of the 23 grid spots available here at week 3. That's a great showing. If you want to race in week number 4, week number 5, you're welcome to do so. All you have to do is race clean. But first and foremost, head on over to reddit.com/r/FM4. Let Slow Motion Fire know that you're interested. Obviously, entering in week number 4 will not put you in the running for the championship, but it will allow you to get familiar with the format, how they do things here in FM4, and then that way you can get ready for season 35, which will probably be launching in about 5 weeks from now. 5 weeks from today. We've got the 2 remaining weeks after tonight, a week from tonight, and then 2 weeks from tonight for the finale. And then they usually do about a 3 or 4 week intermission in between seasons. So a little over a month is when season 35 should get started. Slow Motion Fire letting us know that we're getting ready to rock and roll here in race number 6 of season 34. There are 9 races every season. Races 1 through 8 come in as duos in week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in week 5, it is a longer endurance style race, just one of them. And this season, it'll be out at, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on where it's at. Hockenheim Ring. Hockenheim Ring for race number 9. Refreshing like crazy, still nothing. Can you hear my voice, Nazvet? And what it might be, So maybe Twitch is having an issue with regards to rendering different resolutions, and what it might be is your device is not able to render 1080p. Somebody else, I think it was Carryout, was telling me that he only had access to the 1080p broadcast, which can be troublesome for him. It could be the same for everybody else. Here we go. Kick the tires, light the fires. Our final race of the evening here in week number 3, season 34 of the Forza Spec Racing Series is underway. Cratrim, who was on pole, is going to lead them up the hill out of turn number 2. AMS Unicon back behind Corvette there in 3rd position. Then it's Slipstream in 4th, Audrex in 5th, Joe Beardy up to 6th position. He's on a tear. Fear the Fun in 7th, Wolf in 8th, Slow Motion Fires 9th, Chaos Fox in 10th. Now down the hill. Out of turn number 3A they come. They're going to go ahead and take the chute here. Out of 4A, they're going to run a little bit wide. Kind of bring it back on the track before you hit that tire wall. That tire wall will not treat you well. No, sir, no, ma'am. Now into 7A they go. Past the drag strip. Now on the back end here of Sonoma through the squiggly bits. 8, 8A, 9, 9A, and Diaz. And then you've got turn 11, that big old hairpin, before you charge back toward turn 12, that final little kink left-hander toward the start-finish line. AMS Unicon getting up into the dirt, able to recover it, brings it back onto the asphalt, and continues to charge head-on here at Cratrim. He's going to run wide once again, up into the wall. That's going to allow 3rd and 4th, which is currently occupied by Corvid and Slipstream, to close in a little bit as they go into hairpin. Turn number 11, there's Audrex in 5th, Joe Beardy in 6th, Fear the Fun in 7th, IPR Wolf in 8th. You see the whole lot of them, as we've got a nice trail of cars, single file formation, all the way back and around for the start of lap number 2. Yeah, I don't know what it is. We always have the options for different resolutions here on Virtual Autosports. I don't know what's happening. Perhaps the Twitch server is not hooking us up here tonight. We always have the different resolutions, so my apologies if you're unable to see the broadcast right now. I will try my best to be a radio broadcaster and navigate our way through this race as they come out of 7A, which again is that back end of the track. There goes AMS Unicon getting 2 wheels, the passenger side tires up into the air as he continues to chase down first of Cratrim. Corvin in 3rd, 4th is Slipstream, Audrex in 5th, Joe Beardy in 6th, Slow Motion Fire, let's go to Slow Motion Fire, who finds himself currently running in 7th. What a run here by Slow. His name, anything but slow at this point. Mortismo in 8th, DOR Hocus in 9th, Chaos Fox in 10th. Back there in 11th is Modern Weapon. IPR Wolf has fallen all the way back to 12th position. Enraged Barney, or PXM Barney in 13th. Got to go fast in 14th. 15th is Born as Ghost. 16th is Fox, Jason D. Grimm in 17th. Gumby Greg, Beer, Tamocello, and Fear the Fun, who is off the track. As we're going to see him here once our leader goes by. Fear the Fun off the track, and in a bad way in that 56 F100. Very early on in this race, you see the dust kicked up there off to the right, and he's going to continue to run, and he's going to duck into the infield here and let everybody go on past. Fear the Fun now a lap down here. Very quick. Avoid walls, Grim. Let's go, says Bright Eyes 2000. I feel like that should be the name of a CD. Bright Eyes 2000. Corvid now starting to lose Slipstream. Those two were battling it out at Spa. Now there are a little bit of separation between the two. Audrex in 5th, Joe Beardy. Again, the dark horse here. Oh, and there goes Unicon, cutting through the inside of turn number 9A. Shame, AMS Unicon. Here comes Cratrim. He's going to lead. Not really a pack. I mean, Cratrim is out there. He's far and away from even second position of Unicon now, who finds himself a good second and a half back as they go back up the hill here on lap number 4. Saying that I might be a radio broadcaster for some of you guys who are seeing black screen, I feel like there should be some sort of in the news. out here at the Forza Motorsport 7 Racing Series. Spec Racing Series. It's Cratrim who's leading it. AMS Huracan in second. Corvette in third. Fourth is Slipstream Audrex in fifth as we see that AMD Risen liveried 56 F100 run wide out of turn number 4A, and the drivers have been given permission to go ahead and use that runoff area. Obviously, we didn't see it much during qualifying because you wanted that clean lap, but they are able to use the runoff area there out of 4A. Just got to be careful, though. I mean, you don't have a whole heck of a lot of grip, even though these are D400 performance F100s, which mean they're on the low end of the Forza Motorsport 7 Performance Index scale. The 6.2 liter V8 churns out enough power and it'll slam you into a wall pretty quickly, and will do so rather quickly, quite swiftly, because you don't necessarily have a lot of grip. As a matter of fact, they did not upgrade the compound of these tires, so these are the standard tires that you get in Forza Motorsport 7. They're not sport. They're not racing. No, they're 245s 40 with a 19-inch rim on all four corners. Here comes Joe Beardy up the hill in sixth position. Cratrium starting to now have AMS Huracan close the gap as they come into 4A once again here on lap number 5. Cratrium probably thinking, hey, don't you got better things to do right now than try to get another win here in season 34? AMS Huracan trying to go 5 of 6 as he goes to the inside here now through the S's out at Sonoma with that clown mask. It is scary, Ghibli Jibs. It is. And AMS Huracan now out in front. Cratrium in second with that No Coast Brewing liveried pickup truck. Third is Corvid, Slipstream in fourth. Audrex still there in fifth. It is just a train of cars. Let's go to Dior Hocus. They're in 10th position. We talked to Hocus in between the Spa race and qualifying here out at Sonoma. Finding himself now in 11th position as IPR Wolf gets by. This is Dustin Moore, BBC News at Sonoma. Oh no, we've got the black screen. We probably lost somebody. That might be Fear the Fun ducking out, however, so I wouldn't be too surprised if it's somebody who was already not having a great race, and I think that is the case. We should see here on the next fly of the ticker. There it is, Fear the Fun, now officially out of race number 6 here tonight. The battle for the top 10. IPR Wolf with Dior Hocus and that John Deere camo truck, modern weapon in the thick of it as well, trying to get as many points as they possibly can manage. Let's bring them higher up on the leaderboard, and if week number 1 or week number 2 wasn't their best, you got to start making it happen here in 3, 4, and then week number 5 where the points are doubled because it's just one race. You see a lot of cars coming out of 4A, or a lot of trucks coming out of 4A with 2 tires on the ground, 2 up in the air. A little bit of a F100 salute here out at Sonoma. Sunny skies as we see the camera focus down the S section with Dior Hocus now up to 10th position. Chaos Fox, who was unable to secure a top 10. Very unlike Chaos Fox. He's in a good spot right now in 9th with Muertismo up in 8th. Slow Motion Fire still in 7th with Joe Beardy still in 6th. Let's go to AMS Huracan, who has surprisingly fallen back to 5th position. Not sure what happened. What was our race leader there for about a lap and a half now finds himself here in 4th out in front of Audrex. And so now Huracan with more than half the race remaining. Make it actually 2/3 of the race remaining. Is going to have to try to play catch up. Back to 10th with Hocus. As we've got a lot of great racing, close racing back here, 8th through 12th. Muertismo at the front, Modern Weapon is the caboose of this little train here. Dior Hocus with a couple of wheels on that John Deere truck up into the air, and that sent him careening toward the inside there through the chute, and that drops him back a little bit to allow IPR Wolf to close in. Just a little bit of a mistake there. That's all it takes. As always, thank you so much for tuning in to Virtual Autosports here in Week 3 of Season 34 in the Forza Spec Racing Series. I'm Dustin Moore, doing the whole talking thing. And we'll be back a week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern for week number 4, and then 2 weeks from tonight, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, same bat channel. And there's Joe Beardy off the pace. Joe Beardy is slowed down there on the front straightaway. I'm not entirely sure why. That's a really odd place to be going so slow. And we're going to have to check to see if Joe Beardy has some damage. If he clipped the wall coming through that kink at turn 12, that would have definitely delivered some damage and could possibly result in a pit stop next time by. Let's hope not. There's a look at the damage. No damage to speak of. So maybe Joe Beardy just clipped the wall there on the front straightaway, and as is the case here in Forza Motorsport 7, almost kind of acts like a magnet. As your car drags along there, it quickly slows down, and it's hard to kind of work your way off of the wall, especially in these slower pickup trucks where you don't have a lot of horsepower to kind of thrust yourself off the wall to propel yourself. Oh. And I believe we're having a little bit of a hiccup here. Looks like it's recovered. Let's go up to second with SGR Corvid, who's got Slipstream behind him. And you better believe that AMS Udakan, who is in fourth, will be catching up in the next few laps. Whether or not he's got enough time to catch up to Cratrim up in first is the question. Big J Bishop telling us, or Fear the Fun, as we know him out in the on the racetrack, too shaky and too sedated to catch my mistake. Lap 2, no sense of going 2 laps down. I hear you, Fear the Fun, and obviously this is a season that, you know, I'm certainly more concerned for your health, and rightfully so, and so this one might be a garbage season for you, and hopefully the health improves over the next few weeks, if not sooner. All right, so if you're just joining us, maybe you walked away and grabbed yourself a bite to eat or something to drink. AMS Udakan, who had got around Cratrim for the lead about 3 or 4 laps back and was leading for about a lap and a half, somehow fell back to 5th position. We didn't see it because we were watching the great battle happening back in the in 8th through 12th. But now AMS Udakan working his way back up through the field in that number 99 car. You see he's closing in on Slipstream like a homing missile is Udakan. And they've got a couple, actually just one. That's going to be Tam Ocello there in 20th position, one of the back markers here as they come up to turn number 3, up and over the crest. The highest point here at Sonoma, and here comes Slipstream. He's looking to get around Tam quickly because he knows that Udakan is lurking back there. There goes Udakan with 2 wheels up into the air and a controlled landing. Cratrim, Corbin, Slipstream, Udakan, Audrex, Slow Motion Fire, one heck of a run. Mortismo in 7th, trying to hold off IPR Wolf. So now it's a battle from 7th on back to 12th. They've added another car to that mix. 8th is IPR Wolf, Chaos Fox in 9th, Joe Beardy in 10th, Modern Weapon in 11th. Got to go fast, actually, who's in 12th has fallen away from that pack. So they just moved up a little bit in terms of the grid. 13th is Borna's Ghost. 14th is Hocus. There goes Udakan making a move around Slipstream there, coming out of turn number 12 and across the line for the beginning of lap number 11. In 15th is Barney. Grimm in 16th. Fox Jason in 17th. Beer. Tamocello are 19th and 20th. Fear the Fun voluntarily dropping out of this race here early on, back on lap number 3. Down the hill comes Slipstream, who's if he's fighting for third, it's gonna be a very hard fought battle, because he's got Udakan, who's now on the revenge tour after losing 4 spots from first back to 5th. Let's go to Muertismo in 8th, with IPR Wolf in 7th. And at some point, we'll catch the heroics of Slow Motion Fire, who's driving one heck of a run there in 6th. Here comes Chaos Fox, who's not happy with just 9th. Gonna go for 8th. Heck, if you don't finish top 10 in one race, being 10th or 9th in the next race isn't good enough. You need 8th, possibly even 7th, if Chaos Fox can make it happen here with about 11 and a half laps. Actually, let me take that back. About 10, make that 9 and a half laps remaining here. Udakan now maybe about a second and a half back from SGR Corbin. Will go up there shortly. Going to continue to hang out here as Corbin now drops back to 9th, and there goes IPR Wolf. Or actually, check that. That's not IPR Wolf. That's Muertismo, who dropped back and now finds himself out in front of Chaos Fox with Joe Beardy, who's trying to reclaim some positions. Joe Beardy was running in 6th before we saw him seemingly stalled out on the front straightaway 2 laps ago. Now into 4A. There goes Chaos Fox, getting it up onto the curbing, and he's going to turn it around and into the infield and in the grass. Going to lose 1 spot, make that 2 spots. To 11th goes Chaos Fox, and might even give up another spot here. Got to go fast. Yes, got to go fast up to 11th. Chaos Fox to 12th, and there goes Borna's Ghost, making a run at Chaos Fox now. Oh my gosh. Got a little bit too antsy in the pantsy there through turn 4A. Heading into the chute was Chaos Fox. Got a couple wheels up onto the ground, and where we've seen most drivers land it, Chaos Fox unable to do so in Canada. The score has come in, and that's a 3 out of 10 from Canada for Chaos Fox on the landing. Unable to make it stick. Craytrim still up there at first. Corbin in second as Udakan continues to close in. Slipstream in 4th. Audrex, who we're seeing now here in 5th. Slow Motion Fire does seem to be closing in on Audrex a little bit. IPR Wolf, as we just saw the situation there with Chaos Fox. IPR Wolf in 7th. Muertismo in 8th. Joe Beardy back into the top 10. Modern Weapon in 10th. Got to go fast is 11th. Chaos Fox has now fallen back to 12th, where we saw him drop back, but at risk of losing another spot, and actually had lost a spot to Borna's Ghost before getting it back. And DOR Hocus is all the way back to 14th position as well. Oh my gosh. We go to look at another battle, and then something crazy happens elsewhere. Come on, Udakan, you can make it, says Shrek. Udakan rooting on the Season 33 champion here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, trying to go back-to-back. Not many drivers have done it. Craytrim has the most victories, most championships as a driver here in FM4. Udakan, though, looking to add another to his name. Closing in on Corvid, coming up to turn number 3 and 3A. My, oh my, if you're enjoying the content, you want to see more, click that follow button. We'll be live this Friday, again on Sunday, in a week from tonight. And the pattern repeats for quite a while before we have a little bit of a break. Bringing you great Forza Motorsport 7 racing action week in, week out. There goes Udakan, bashing door panels there as he gets his driver's side up onto the passenger side of Corbett, makes the move. And up to second goes Udakan with 7 laps, a little more than 7 laps remaining. Out here at Sonoma, the short track, the NASCAR circuit, and there goes Udakan with another mistake, up into the wall out of 9A. Gonna make it interesting. Well, Udakan, and now that Weezer, that lime green Weezer truck, 16th position of Grimm, one of the back markers in between Udakan and Cratrim for first. Oh, the drama in this race. There goes Udakan making the move there through 3 on the back marker. Door slapping. And Udakan keeping all 4 wheels on the asphalt, this time through the chute, or coming into the chute. Now through 7, 7A, and into the squiggly bits. On lap 15. Let's go to Modern Weapon in 9th. Modern Weapon has Mortismo out in front of him. Here comes Joe Beardy, who's moved his way back up into the top 10, but that's not enough for him. He wants more. Mortismo getting very close, if not tapping the wall, that tire wall. They're coming out of 4A, and now Modern Weapon is going to be hard on the brakes into 7A, giving all the reason for Joe Beardy to make a pass here. Let's see if he can do it. And you see Chaos Fox back there in the background in 11th. Chaos Fox trying to make a case for a top 10 finish once again after a mistake in the chute a few laps back. Here comes Joe Beardy. Looks to the inside. Down out of 10. Now let's see what he does here at the hairpin of 11. He's going to loop it out and then bring it back in. And let's see if that gives him a bit more momentum coming out and through 12. Does it? He's catching up. Mortismo, though, maybe holding Modern Weapon back a little bit as they cross the line for the beginning of their lap 16. Underneath the Toyota bridge, into 2. Oh, you guys think the action is fun here in week 3, race number 5 and 6. We've got 7, 8, and the finale in week 5. Left to go. There goes Joe Beardy. He's going to go ahead and kick up the dust. Kick the dust up. Into 4A and the chute. Chasing down Modern Weapon. Born as Ghost now back there in the background, who's found his way around Chaos Fox. Chaos Fox, that consistency has just disappeared. It's dissipated here out at Sonoma. Such a shame because Chaos Fox is looking for a much better finish than what he had there out at Sonoma. And Udakan now about a second and a half, maybe 2 full seconds behind Cratrim at this point. Corbett has, I don't want to say kept pace, because you see the delta between the two as they get out of 3 and 3A. And now head downhill, and Udakan is going to do a little bit of landscaping here. Gently over 4A, and Corbett's going to run it a little bit wider. Very exciting, says Booty Juice, which never thought I'd be saying that. Really exciting racing, DWM Frog says. Yeah, this is fun. The Forza Spec Racing Series, one of the longer running racing leagues in the Forza community. And oh, we've got a car that is at Udakan. It looked like a truck was turned around, but perhaps that was just a little optical illusion there as we were looking east through the S's because Udakan still on pace there as we come up to the turn 11, the hairpin, and getting ready for the start of lap 18. Cratron probably thinking, man, this race can't end soon enough. Can he hold on to it? Fourth is Slipstream. Audrex in fifth. Slow Motion Fire still running in sixth. Great race by Slow, and maybe we'll get Slow. We usually don't get them until the grand finale, but maybe after this one, maybe Slow will have to sound off. Seventh is IPR Wolf, who's now gotten rid of everybody in his rearview mirror. Mortismo in 8th. Joe Beardy is 9th. Modern Weapon is 10th. Chaos Fox looking to breach into the top 10 again. Still there in 11th position with Borna's Ghost hanging tight in 12th. And then DOR Hocus in 13th. And not far behind them is Gotta Go Fast in 14th. So Chaos Fox got to be very careful. Looking to get back into the top 10, but you don't want to ruin it and put yourself at risk at falling further back. There's always a chance that this might be Chaos Fox's drop week, but you don't want to flirt with that because you don't know what week 4 and 5 might have in store for you. Here comes Corvid through the S's on the last quarter of the track here, lap 18, getting ready to start lap 19 of 21. That 22nd is just a cool down lap. For those of you who may be new to watching this series run, and if you are, do hit that follow button because you don't want to miss week number 4 as we head out to Homestead. And Watkins Glen. Actually, Watkins Glen will be first, and then the Homestead Speedway. We will be on the oval in a week's time. Here comes Corvin now, who is starting to lose sight of MS Udakan, who's pouring it on thick like a Kansas City barbecue master. Laying that sauce down on the ribs is Udakan. Trying to go in for that final bit of bite. Oh, he's going to get a little squirrely here. That's the corner that ruined it for him. Well, actually, ruined it for Chaos Fox a while back. And every little mistake like that's going to put you that much further behind our front runner of Cratrim. Going to make it that much more difficult to fight for that top spot here with almost 2 full laps remaining. And Udakan again with very close to 4 wheels into the grass there. Definitely would have been Forza dirty. And 20 drivers of the 21 who started Fear the Fun, though, opting out of this race after just having his own personal issues. So all 20 drivers who are out there under their own power, like, we haven't lost anybody to a disconnect, which is one heck of an evening here for our Forza server. The one disconnect that did happen was Slow Motion Fire coming out of the spa race. He's the event host and had to start up a new lobby, but those issues have not shown up here in the race. And of course, I knock on wood here in our final 2 laps, or lap and a half at this point, as we continue to watch AMS Udakan now with Tam Ocello. Every time. Gets me every time. I read it as Tom Morello. I kid you not. And now 1.5 laps remaining. Our current leader of the season. And this is big too, because this means that one of AMS Udakan's weeks will be a non-200 point week if he cannot come away with the victory here in this second race of the evening. Gonna run wide once again. This is at least the 3rd time that we've seen Udakan do that. Could be more depending on, if we haven't been watching him on all these times around. We have dropped back a little bit with the camera. And now up to the line. Here they come. White flag flies. The 21st lap here. The final lap at Sonoma. The beginning of the second half here in Season 34 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. This is race 6 of 9. Up the hill, turn number 2. Udakan. As soon as he can, you know it. He's putting that pedal down to the metal, but you got to be careful. You can't do it too soon. and risk spinning those tires and loosening up the back end. Let's see what happens through 4A. This has always been very tricky, and actually he keeps it off the curbing there through the apex and then runs it wide out onto the runoff area, making every bit of that track count for him. Now out of 7A, about 5, 6, maybe even 7 or 8 car lengths behind. If Craytrim does not make a mistake, Craytrim is lined up to take the win for the second time here in season 34. He did so out at Maple Valley in race number 3 back in week 2. Oh, and Joe Beardy, it looks like, is off the track. I think that's Joe Beardy back there. And back to the line. Here comes Craytrim out of turn 11. AMS Unicon trailing behind. Not going to be able to catch up into turn 12. Craytrim coming away with the win in the F100 here at Sonoma. AMS Unicon is second. Corbin in third. Here comes Slipstream in fourth position. And Unicon going to give Craytrim a little bit of a bump there. Out of 1. And there goes Slipstream with Tam Ocello, one of the back markers. Well done by Slipstream. He needed those points, and he gets them. Drex coming up to the line in fifth. Slow motion fire all by himself there in 6th position. One heck of a run. Everybody, virtual high fives all around for slow motion fire. Going to pick up 6th place. 7th will go to IPR Wolf. 8th is Modern Weapon. Let's go to Born as Ghost in 9th here. Is that little fight there between 7th on back to 12th has dissipated a little bit, but here comes Chaos Fox to the inside. Chaos Fox is at least back up into the top 10, was trying to grab 9th from Born as Ghost, and Born as Ghost will find himself with a P9 finish. Chaos Fox, surprisingly, but well done, able to get 10th. 11th will go to Gotta Go Fast. Mortismo in 12th. Barney is 13th. Dio Arjucas in 14th. Grim in 15th. Fox Jason 16th. Beer 98 in 17th. Joe Beardy is 18th. Gumby Greg in 19th. Tam Ocello in 20th. And Fear the Fun, the only disconnect. And again, did so on his own accord in this race. What a great week this was. What a great week. We still have week 4 and week 5. Folks, let's hear from the drivers. We'll talk to them after we do some ads. They do support the broadcast, so if you can manage to come to terms with seeing all the things that the sponsors want you to see, it'll support the channel. And anybody who may be coming in for the closing ceremonies tonight will miss the pre-roll ads and fortunately be able to get right into it. We'll talk to our drivers. Then we're going to talk about the events coming up here on Virtual Autosport to include some information on the Great American Go Left 500 that'll happen here on July 3rd. And then we'll also talk about the big announcement. Nobody knows right now, but we've got the announcement of who our next drivers are going to be in the second ever Forza Friday Night Fights and what car they will be racing 1v1 in 8 rounds of racing. I'm Dustin Moore. This is Virtual Autosports, and we're closing things up here. Week number 3 of the Forza Spec Racing Series, live on Twitch TV. Just some casual V8s and crashing, says Matt6661. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, the end of night shenanigans happening out there at the track at Sonoma as Soul Motion Fire tries to make some semblance of where the finishing order was when they came across the line there on lap 21. Yeah, it's the first half in the books. The second half of season 34 is now underway here in season 34 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. We'll get to our drivers here in the driver spotlight as soon as our ads have ended. For those who are receiving ads, for everybody else, appreciate you hanging tight here at through the end of the broadcast as we talk to our drivers, and then of course what's coming up here on the channel. The more you watch, the more you stay tuned here. Even if you walk away, heck, go to sleep right now if you want to. As long as you leave your broadcast open, you'll continue to receive the pit points, and you can redeem 1,000 of those for an entry into our June 2020 giveaway for a $100 Steam digital gift card. That'll come to an end on June 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, at which point we will randomly select the lucky winner. Who needs sleep, says Sober David. Who needs that? On a Tuesday? Sleep? Matt6661 says me. And welcome back, everybody, to Virtual Auto Sports here live on Twitch TV as we close out things of week number 3 here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. I appreciate those of you who held tight through the ads and have come back for the driver interviews and for our little chat about what's coming up here on the broadcast. We bring back into the driver's spotlight. We've already talked to him once here tonight, but not ashamed to talk to him a second time. DOR Hocus. And Hocus, I see it looks like you finished not as great as you had back there at Spa. I don't know, 14th it looks like.
Yeah, I had a couple of incidents and then one major one last lap.
A very crazy battle back there from 7th on back to, I would say, as far back as 12th position. Whereas there was not any jockeying for position out at Spa. That wasn't the case here at Sonoma.
No, it was actually pretty good fun. Me and a couple of people had a really good battle. Born as Ghost, me and him went back and forth a few times. Me and Chaos Fox went back and forth a few times. We had fun.
That you did. And this race, I know we talked about before this one got kicked off, before we even headed into qualifying at that. We were talking about Fear the Fawn and what it was going to take for you to hold him off. Unfortunately, you beat him out by default as he had to disconnect, but not getting the finish you'd like. How does this one match up? I'm trying to think about your first 2 weeks. Could this quite possibly be your drop week here out of 5, assuming the next 2 are good?
I don't remember how they were. I remember last week's, but I don't remember the week before.
Yeah.
I hope they'll probably end up being about the same in the points, so I'm not sure which one will end up being the drop week.
Yeah, as we talk here in the broadcast with DOR Hocus, the broadcast booth, our driver spotlight at the conclusion of our last race of the evening before we come back at it next week, a week from tonight, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, week number 4. I was previewing the tracks that we have out ahead there in week 4, which is the Watkins Glen Full Circuit and then Homestead, the Speedway. So we started the NASCAR flick here out at Sonoma. We're going to continue it for the next 3 races. Which of the 2 there, Watkins and Homestead, are you looking forward to most? The road course or the Speedway?
Homestead.
Homestead go around the oval?
Yes, I'm a better oval track driver than I am a actual road track.
Okay. Well, let me pose this question then. Obviously, throughout the season, and it's perfectly okay. I don't mean to say this as a way to embarrass some of the drivers, but all throughout these seasons, we see the back markers who continue to come into play and affect the end of the race, or at least they're out there on the track, and so you have to navigate around them. When we talk about the Homestead Speedway, the one that you're looking forward to most in week number 4, what's it going to take for you to navigate all that traffic? Because you're going to have back markers, but then you're also going to have lead lap traffic that might very well creep up behind you.
Back markers shouldn't be that much of an issue in Homestead. Either we can stay high or stay low and just go back and forth that way. It shouldn't be that much of an issue. It'd be nice to catch a good draft on the back stretch or the front stretch, format markers, but it'll be good.
Okay. Any shout outs, Dior Hocus, here this evening?
Shout out to Fear for coming back this week. I know he had a rough week, and I'm glad to see him back out here this week.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely good to see Fear the Fun, even though he wasn't able to complete both races. Completing one, that's a start. That is definitely a start. And by the way, before we continue on to our next driver spotlight interview, my thanks to HTM Booty Juice. The name, it throws me for a loop, but it's okay. It's your name. It is your name, and you should not be ashamed of that. Thank you for the subscription, the Twitch Prime subscription, and your support here tonight with both the follow and then the subscription. That's awesome. All in one night's time. What a conversion. That's a good return on investment for me. We converted that one pretty good. Fox Jason D now jumps into the driver's spotlight. Fox, maybe not the finish that you were looking for either. I see you behind Grim, and I was unable to take the rest of the drivers who finished behind you as you all started to do donuts out there at Sonoma. And I don't know, maybe it was a pretty good finish for you. Maybe that's what you were hoping for, or at least were surprised with.
Honestly, I'm very happy with how I finished both of these races, because I mean, this is the first time I've done any sort of league racing, and honestly, my only sort of goal with this sort of thing is just not finishing in last, and honestly, I'm happy with how I've performed so far.
Nice. Yeah, I could have worded that a lot better. I know you came out here. We've chatted with you once before, and I know you were like, "Hey, man, this racing looks exciting. Let me join." So don't let me take away any gains that you have from week to week, race to race. What do you think about the F100 though? This being the first car that you've jumped into for organized racing. I know that I asked this of you last time, but now that we've gone through 6 races, have your opinions changed?
I mean, well, first of all, I think this is the first time we've actually had an interview together.
No,
but
you're lying.
No, I think that this is the first time I've been confident enough to actually do the interview.
Oh, gosh darn it. Never mind. I take
it
all back.
No, it's perfectly fine, man. But the thing is that this car has been really fascinating to drive. It's just I mean, I know when I first was trying it out, the big thing was just constantly swaying in the back end, trying to figure that out. But I've had a lot of help in this community to try to figure that out. It's been like it's a very friendly bunch for what's essentially my first time doing any sort of league racing.
Very, very friendly bunch indeed. And just as a reminder for anybody who's watching and you're like, oh yeah, Fox Jason is saying, hey man, this was a cool league to join, and he's having fun with it. Reddit.com/r/FM4 is where you want to go to find out all the details. You can participate in week number 4. They got very close to a full lobby here tonight, so maybe you be the 22nd or 23rd driver out there on the track to have a full grid and get familiar with the format as they head into the finale and then start season 35 ready to go. That being said, the 56 Ford F100, okay, so maybe we haven't chatted before. Maybe it's been a fun drive for you, but what vehicle might you be looking forward to in season 35, assuming you're going to be able to join these guys and gals again maybe in about a month's time?
I don't know. Honestly, I just like I like some of the smaller vehicles, like some of the lower power stuff. Like some of my favorite driving that I've done in this has been like C and D class. It's not too fast, but it still makes for some really competitive driving. That's why I've enjoyed this. Like, this is my first time doing any sort of league stuff, but it's the way the car is. I've always been in a situation where I've had battles most of the nights, especially tonight with Beer 98G. We've had some amazing fights tonight, even back there.
Yes, and that's the story that everybody should know, is that no matter how good, or I know some people will say how slow they are, you're going to find a battle somewhere out there on the track, and as the longer that you battle it out with that driver, the better both of you will get, and soon you'll be fighting it out with other drivers out on the track. So that's really cool. It's a really cool success story to hear as we talk with Fox Jason D here in the broadcast. And as a matter of fact, I think maybe what I'm recalling is that I think maybe it was it Chaos Fox who said that invited you to this race, or was there somebody?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
what.
That's exactly it. Chaos Fox. And I was gonna do, but we've been friends for like probably a year, like 2 years now, and he's the one who convinced me to even watching his streaming on of Forza. It was that convinced me to even pick up this game. And honestly, it's been a lot of his help and a lot of the stuff he's done that has been just it's been a massive help to me, and I'm really glad for everything he's done for me.
Very cool. And I think we had somebody in our chat earlier on, I think the name was Preston or something to that effect, who was asking, do some of these drivers have tunes that can be used if maybe you're not the best at tuning, but you want to have a good tune applied and be able to take it out to the track? It sounds like Chaos Fox has helped you out with that regard.
He's not only has he helped me with tuning, he's just helped me in general with just figuring out how to play Forza in general. Nice. Because like before this, he had mentioned this in his interview. Like before this, I was playing Mario Kart 8. Like so, it's
another really good sim racer, by the way. Mario Kart.
But yeah, he's given me so much help in doing this it's because of him that I'm actually doing this league and doing this Forza racing.
Nice.
I owe so much to him.
That's really cool. That is a really cool story to tell. We always love getting these stories throughout each season of the Forza Spec Racing Series, and it never fails. We find at least one driver who has this very same tale to share. And so, Fox, Jason D, even though you're saying this is the first time that we're chatting, I feel like we're now friends and family here within the Forza Spec Racing Series. So it's good to see you and glad to hear from you. And I know you said you were a little bit shy, but by no means hesitate from jumping in here again. We would love to chat with you next time.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Any shout-outs here this evening?
I mean, along with Chaos Fox, I mean, also another good friend who's part of this IPR Wolf, who has also given me a lot of just help in terms of confidence. Both he and Chaos Fox have been like very good friends and have just been the biggest help in getting me to where I am right now.
Awesome. Good stuff. Fox, Jason, welcome to the family here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, and glad to have you. That's the other thing. I love it when drivers get the ambition and the motivation, whether it come from within themselves or maybe somebody says, hey, go hop in there. Go get in the interview and have a word with us. And that's always fun because it allows me to brush up my skills, my interviewing skills. And, of course, it does the same for you all. If you maybe you're not aspiring to be a top Forza racer, but maybe you just kind of want to go through the motion of like what it's like to have your race broadcast. Now, sure, we didn't get to see a lot of Fox Jason D out there on the track, but to be a part of the broadcast as a racer and then to come on to the broadcast booth side and have a quick little word with us, don't feel frightened to do so. This is the perfect and the optimal environment to do so. Speaking of Chaos Fox, who Fox Jason had so many good things to say, we'll bring SGR Chaos Fox in here. I would love to be able to say as good of things about your character as you had here in the race. Unfortunately, Season 3 has just not treated you well here today.
Yeah.
Although you still got top 10. I should throw that out there.
Oh.
Hold on. Stand by. I think we might be getting a little disconnect. Uh-oh. Hold on just a second. Wait for it. We'll get it back. Can you hear me now, Chaos Fox?
Now I can hear you.
All right.
You cut out bad.
I know. That was a bad one. I saw it on my end as well. Let me rephrase this. Not the worst week that you've seen. It could have been, but you recovered quite nicely out here at Sonoma.
Yes. I want to say I was up to 8th, and what's that fella's name? Martismo, something like that.
Oh yeah, Martismo. However it's
pronounced.
That's
it. I was chasing him. He was in 7th. I was in 8th, and the back half of the course, I forget the name. Basically, it's that right-hander. Yep. With that big steep curb.
4A into the chute.
Yes, and it caught me. I don't know if you caught it on stream because my stream just sort of went black, so I couldn't hear anything. But I caught 2 wheels, but it kind of pushed me over the rumble strips where there's that dip, and then whoop, my truck went around, and that's how I lost spots. But I was able to get back up to, I think, did I get back up to 10th?
Yeah,
I finished 10th or 11th.
By my scoring, you did get 10th.
Okay.
Who got to go fast? Just finished right behind you in 11th. You were just behind Born as Ghost there, who was able to get around you for 9th.
Yeah, he snuck around me because before that I was chasing down Modern Weapon, and him and I were having a good battle.
Yeah, you guys, you definitely were. I mean, there was a lot going on back there. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry to tell you, but we saw your incident there out of 4A in all its excruciating detail and all the glory of two wheels up in the air and then spinning around into the grass. So,
oh boy,
that one does exist as footage. Talking with Chaos Fox here in the broadcast after the conclusion of week number 3 of 5. Heading into week 4, DOR Hocus was telling us that he's really excited about the Speedway matchup out there at Homestead. Oval tracks come up few and far between here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. Are you looking forward to going left for race number 8?
I was testing with an oval track tune for the truck, and I'm actually excited for it because when these trucks are dialed in for it, it's a lot of fun. You're going to have an exciting race to watch.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure.
Yep.
That is for sure.
That is no doubt about it. It will be fun because even if you do start to see some gaps between positions, there's always going to be somebody around someone. And that makes it all the more interesting, hopefully in a good sense. We don't want to see a lot of folks get tangled up with back markers and such. Chaos Fox, before we wrap things up here this evening, you entered week number 3. Let me go take a look here. I'm trying to recall. I think it was 11th position. 11th position? No, actually 9th position, back there behind DOR Hocus. Unfortunately, for Fear the Fun, he's going to fall back a little. So it looks like you're going to move into the top 8. Where do you aspire to be maybe coming out of week number 4? Knowing that Hocus and Audrex would be the next two in front of you.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to climb up, but oh boy.
There's a very I know this is where the regularly trained PR of a racer comes into play, where they're like, well, we're just gonna go take it one race at a time and have ourselves a good week 4. Is that the answer?
Yeah.
Is that the default answer for you?
Maybe. I'm sorry. It's today. Not just the race. Today's just been a little bit exhausting for me.
Yeah.
So bear with me. I apologize.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Let me go ahead and jump away from that one and just say, any big time adjustments you're going to make for these last 2 weeks here to the truck?
Not that big. The truck I think I have it nailed down pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the truck is going to stay as is, except for the ovals, because I have a different setup for that. But other than that, all the other setups, I've been pretty much running between 1 or 2 setups, and the truck feels good. So I'm confident for the next rounds coming up.
Gotcha. Finishing 10th here out at Sonoma. Not the case out at Spa, unfortunately falling out of the top 10 there, but doing a pretty good recovery here on race number 6 of the season, heading into week number 4. We'll see where Chaos Fox falls. Any shout-outs for you, sir, before we close out the night?
A couple of them. Definitely to Slow Motion and Modern for good battles. Both the races we were around each other. Especially on Spa, because it got really intense with myself and Slow. And of course, last shout out, I just want to say to Andy, Fox Jason, thank you.
All the kind words that Fox Jason had for you. Chaos Fox, great seeing you out here again for another week of racing in the Forza Spec Racing Series. We'll look forward to seeing him back out on the track in week number 5. And I see now Grim in the driver's spotlight here after the Sonoma race. And Grim, I'm taking a look here, and it looks like maybe 14th, maybe 15th position there between Hocus and Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, there was all kinds of shuffling happening back there. You were very much a part of the action there toward the back of the pack. But Fox was mentioning that he had some good racing going on with Beer. Like I mentioned, Hocus was just out in front of you. But were you finding yourself moving forward and afterward a couple of times, or were you pretty locked in there at 15th position?
I started in the back. I got a really bad launch and a really bad qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to gain some position in that first big pileup that happened.
Oh, no.
And I was fighting with Fox adjacent for a little bit, but I think after I got past him and held him off for a little while, he and I had some really good racing for a minute there.
Yeah.
But I was lucky I got 15th. The only reason I got that is because Joe pitted at the very last lap, and I barely passed the line right before he did.
Yeah, I did notice somebody was in the pit lane there on the very last lap, which is always interesting. But nonetheless, able to scrape up a couple of points there to close things out. I'm with you, man. A lot of the races I go, gosh, well, I'm glad that they messed up because that made me look okay. That made me look better than I should have been. Talking with Grim here in the driver's spotlight. I have already asked a couple of drivers what they think of Homestead, but we're going out to Watkins Glen here, so it'll be like the second of the NASCAR circuit here on the back half of season 34. Looking forward to that road course?
Oh, absolutely. I love Watkins Glen for sure tracks. All of these NASCAR tracks are things that I'm fairly well versed in just from like my experience with NASCAR 05 and NASCAR 03 growing up.
Okay.
So I actually know the lines is just knowing the truck with the lines, I guess.
Yeah, you're definitely not occupying a NASCAR as you get around here in the F100. And they opted for the full circuit, too. A lot of series I see go for the short track, which always lends to some great racing. But to get the boot in there and the hill and all the whole kit and caboodle, that'll be fun.
Oh, for sure. It wouldn't be FM4 if we didn't go all out sometimes, you know?
And then they make it a 3 for as far as NASCAR, which you said that you're pretty excited about with the Homestead race. So we switch it up from the road circuit to the oval. So that it just looks like a very fun week number 4 on tap for us.
Oh, I'm super stoked for next week. I can't wait.
Hopping away from Forza Motorsport 7, that being said, it sounds like you're a NASCAR fan. NASCAR Heat 05, or not 05, whatever it is, NASCAR Heat 21 or whatever the numbering nomenclature is for that title. Do folks find you playing that game or no?
I had NASCAR Heat 2, and I played that a good chunk, but my time is kind of divided. I've been playing a lot of Elite Dangerous lately.
Oh, yeah.
Out in the new season for Destiny 2 just dropped today, so that's going to be taking up a lot of my time as well as Forza, so I'm spread pretty thin.
Yeah, a lot of things on the backlog to play there. Yeah, Elite Dangerous as they continue to expand on that space exploration game. All kinds of things you could do on there, and now pretty soon going to be able to walk around planets. So, Grim, anything that you want to say to anybody? Any shout outs or any last thoughts here for the night? Looks like you're the last one.
My shout out to my girlfriend. She told me that she was cheering me on the whole time during the whole stream, but I normally don't have the stream on when I race to try to save internet bandwidth.
Yeah,
but she was texting me.
Bright Eyes 2000, I think it was.
Yep, that's her.
Yeah, I said that the name sounded like a record like not a record label, an album title. Bright Eyes 2000.
Yeah, Bright Eyes is a band actually from Omaha, and they're fairly well known in the indie scene.
Nailed it. Pardon me as I put a point on my own board there as I hit that one without even knowing that. Grim, great chatting with you, and we look forward to seeing you there in week 4.
Heck yes. Maybe I can maintain that 15 spot average I've been shooting for.
Oh, man. Love it. That's the way you close out an interview right there, folks. You say, yeah, I'm going for that P15 average. And thanks to Bright Eyes 2000 for watching us here on the broadcast all throughout there at Sonoma and maybe even a little bit there at Spa. All right, folks, I told you we've got a few more things to chat about here before we wrap this one up. Season 34, week number 3 is now in the book. We'll be back a week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, with week number 4. You don't want to miss it as we head out there to Homestead, that full track, and then the Watkins Glen full track, followed by Homestead, the Speedway, the Oval track here in these 1956 Ford F100s. What else is there to come? Well, we've got Forza Friday coming up this week. Oh my gosh, that scared me there for a second. Sober David with the 100, saying great content and racing. And actually, let me back up a little bit. Sober David, thank you for the 100 bits. FVS Alien and Track Page, thank you for those follows. And I'm sorry, I'm just now getting to them. Greatly appreciate that. And Sober David with the 100 bits. So yes, Forza Friday here this weekend, which I don't know what it's going to be, or this Friday. I don't know why I said this weekend. I guess it is the lead into the weekend. I don't know what we're going to do. Quite possibly just some more Forza Motorsport 7 lobby action, public lobby action. So join us for that. That starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time this Friday. And then, of course, our beloved 3050 Track Day experience coming up here on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You don't want to miss this one. Our last one 2 days ago was a great one. We had a lovely event there this past Sunday, and we've got another great one on tap here coming up on the end of the weekend. It looks like the Sport Compact vehicle are going to be, or excuse me, the Historic Road Racing. What am I saying? I think it's the Historic Road Racing that actually is going to win out the battle over on Twitter. If you want to have a say in it, maybe you want to go for maybe you are rooting on for the Sport Compact division to be the division that is run on Sunday. Well, then head on over to my Twitter and vote. Even if you are rooting for the Historic Road division, then vote for that too. Be engaged with us there on Twitter. That way you can keep up to date with all the things that are happening, but then also join us on Sunday for that event. 11 a.m. Eastern. We open up the registration at 10:30. You don't have to do any preparation whatsoever. I'm telling you right now, you want to run in a league this coming weekend? I'm telling you, you don't have to do a thing to get ready. Isn't that lovely? Just show up on Sunday at about 10:30 a.m. Eastern is when we open up the registration. The sooner you register, the higher up on a draft board that you're gonna be. We're gonna go down the list in order in which people have registered. You will pick a number off the screen. We'll have like a game show style board. You'll pick a number, and behind that number is a car. That car you will drive, and then after everybody has picked, I will reveal the build specifications. You'll have 30 minutes to tune, test, and qualify, followed by a 50-mile race. It is so much fun. Even if it doesn't seem like an event that you want to race in, join us here for the broadcast and watch it all unfold. It is it's crazy. It's an experience, just like the little motto there says on the screen. It is unlike anything that you have seen in the Forza community. I promise you. I promise you. All right, and then we'll be back live a week from tonight with the week 4 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. A reminder, pit points, if you're racking those up, redeem some of those. You've got until June 28th, that's Sunday, June 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern to claim the 1,000 pit points for an entry into our June 2020 raffle for a $100 Steam digital gift card, which again is only made possible through the subscriptions and the donations that were received here on the broadcast to include tonight. All that support helps me then turn it back around to you all and give you something to look forward to in terms of a giveaway, or in this case a raffle. So good stuff there. Redeem those points. If you need any more information, head on over to our Discord where we have it. No purchase necessary. Your odds of winning are completely contingent on the number of entries received. Every 1,000 points you can redeem for an entry. So don't just stop at 1,000. Keep watching, keep getting more pit points, and then keep redeeming them. All right, the Great American Go Left 500, which is happening on Friday, July 3rd. So just before here in the States, our 4th of July Independence Day holiday. The Great American Go Left 500. You don't have to be an American to participate. Don't let that fool you. This is open to everybody. And we will actually be opening pre-registration for our subscribers. The subscribers of the channel will get a shot at pre-registration beginning this Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and that will go all the way until next Friday, June 19th. So you've got a full week as a subscriber to register for the event starting at 5 p.m. this Friday. And that way you know you've got yourself a spot on the grid. We're going to do 500 miles of racing on July 3rd. It'll be broken up into 3 different stints, or 3 different stages. And so we'll race 50 laps, and then that third stage will be a 100-lapper. We're looking at about a total runtime of about 3 hours of racing. So only sign up if you are committed. All the information, everything you need to know is over on our Discord. A very reliable place to go. Oh, that's not the right. I don't know what the. Actually, I don't know if I have a command for it. It is the hashtag Gaggle500 though, so that's what it's known as. Head on over to our Discord and get all the information. We've got a lot of great stuff, a lot of reasons for you to participate, and because we do have some prizes, which again are all thanks to the subscribers of the channel and the donators. That's the reason why the subscribers are able to sign up first. If you're a subscriber and you contribute to the channel in that way, you're going to get first dibs at participating in an event where then you can earn your money back and then some through the prizes that we have to offer. So head on over to Discord and get yourself ready for registration, pre-registration this Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, and then registration will open to everybody if there are any spots available, and we'll start to form a wait list. That opens up at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on June 19th. Also happening on June 19th is we're going to do a little bit of a practice session for the Great American Go Left 500. There are 3 vehicle builds for each manufacturer of NASCAR within Forza Motorsport 7 for Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. Go ahead and grab the required tune that you need for whichever manufacturer you prefer. Apply it and then show up a week from this coming Friday. So not this Friday, but a week from then on June 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern. We will have 4 stints that we'll do, 4 50-lap races. That way you can get kind of familiarized with the vehicle. We'll see how well the tunes perform with drivers out on the track. If there are adjustments to be made, maybe we'll make them. Maybe if everybody's happy with it, we'll keep the tune as is. But it's just a way for us to test it out, for you to test it out. And then, of course, we'll air that here on Virtual Autosports so everybody can see how the test sessions go. That is on June 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's first come, first race, by the way. You don't have to worry about the registration to do the practice session. So even if you don't plan to race in the Great American Go Left 500, but you still want to practice with some of the folks, we'll see you here then. First one into the lobby gets to participate. All right, folks, last thing here for this evening, and then I promise we'll wrap this one up and we'll be done for the night. Forza Friday night fights. We did this about a month ago with Salty Bonkos, who challenged SGR Crimson, Corvid, to a race, 1v1. Salty Bonkos edged out Corvid and came away as the winner in that one through a viewer vote. Things will be a little bit different this time. We're still doing 8 rounds of racing with our 2 drivers, but we'll have a panel of judges who are going to select the winner. We will still do a viewer poll, so you could still weigh in as a viewer, but we'll have judges who ultimately determine who the winner is. So the big question is, who are our competitors for the second ever Forza Friday Night Fights? Well, here you go. It's going to be AMS Udakan taking on RZM Matt 6661 in that Cayman GT4 Club Sport that you see smack dab right there in the middle of the poster. Folks, get ready for this one. This is going to be a hoot. I already know what the tracks are. The drivers have already selected their tracks. We'll talk about those tracks as we get closer to the event. They're on June 26th, so that's about 2.5 weeks away from now, 2 weeks out from this coming Friday. June 26th, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 rounds of racing. Each race is 3 laps long. It is a 1v1 event, and it is a lot of fun. Don't miss it. Mark this on your virtual calendar, on your real calendar, on your tangible hang on the wall calendar, whatever it is that you have. Mark the date, June 26th. We're going to have ourselves a lovely little Friday there. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun as we see these 2 drivers battle it out to see who's quickest there in the Cayman GT4. And Shrek is saying there in the chat, this is endgame. Yeah, once the 8 rounds of racing between these 2 are complete, the world will get sucked into a black hole, and that'll be it for us. So enjoy the racing while we have it. I mean, enjoy everything while we have it, because these 2 are about to put it in to all that we know. No, they're going to have a lot. They're going to have a lot of fun. I know these 2 are very competitive amongst each other, and it should be one heck of a battle. One heck of a battle. Do not miss it. Do not miss it. June 26th. So much fun coming up here on the broadcast, here on Virtual Autosports. A lot of fun. If you need information on any of it, you know where to find me. Over on Twitter, over on our Discord. Those are the places that you need to be following and have your account set up so that you can keep pace with what we've got going on here. And then, of course, at any time you have any questions along the way about what's going on, don't hesitate to reach out to me either publicly on Twitter or on Discord, or you can do it privately as well through a direct message there on Discord or on Twitter. Happy to entertain your questions, your thoughts, your recommendations, your feedback, your input, your gripes, your complaints, your see you later messages if you're departing us from Virtual Auto Sports. Whatever the case may be, we'd love to get your thoughts, your impressions here of things. That's going to do it for me, folks. Have a great rest of the week. We'll catch you on not Tuesday. This is Tuesday. We'll catch you on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern with Forza Friday with D. Moore and the crew again. Something in Forza Motorsport 7. Not entirely sure what it is, but be here and we'll have a little bit of fun. We'll talk more about what's going on here on the broadcast. Until then, y'all take care. If you get any more racing in, keep it fun, keep it safe, keep it clean. Good night.